to this table right here. And before everyone sits down, if you'll raise your right hands, please.
Do each of you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and but the truth on your solemn affirmation?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, you all sit and sit. We're here in the matter of Kristen Garapati versus Kumar Garapati and proposed intervener. I'm sorry, what's your client's name?
Mr. Sienna.
Mr. who?
Sienna.
Oh, Mr. Sienna, okay. This is 22CVD000459, and we're here on a review of two emergency custody motions, one filed by Ms. Garapati and one filed by Mr. Sienna. I was not here for that second one, and I believe that it conflicted with the first one.
Thank you.
In that it gave custody to grandfather. So we're here just to review things today and figure out where we need to go from here, okay? So I think Ms. Garapati, your motion is first. Do you want to come on up and testify? All right, and if you start by stating your name.
Kristen Garapati.
Okay, and Ms. Garapati, you have 3 children with Mr. Garapati, is that
That's
right?
correct.
Okay, and what are their names and ages?
Veda Garapati, she is about to turn 10, so she's 9.
Mm-hmm.
Surya Garapati, turning 8, and Leela Garapati is 5.
10, 8, and 5. Okay, and you all had a, let's see, a custody order in place, didn't you? A consent order for 2022?
Yes.
All right. And what has happened to make you file for emergency custody?
Well, my daughter Leela, I had the kids according to that order for the month of July, and my daughter Leela made claims of sexual abuse, which I reported to DSS, and then the police, and filed a report.
And how does all of that stand right now?
I'm really not sure. They had a forensic interview. So no, it wasn't at Pat's Place. It was in South Carolina at the Palmetto Citizens Against Sexual Abuse on North York Ave.
Okay.
So the police refused to do anything. I'm very, very upset. I feel like it wasn't taken care of by law enforcement or DSS.
It was being handled by South Carolina law enforcement or DSS?
No, North Carolina. They would not go, they didn't go to the house, they didn't look for any evidence, they refused to do anything until after a forensic interview happened. That wasn't
a little stuff. Why did that interview happen in South Carolina then?
Because, for a couple reasons. One, my father lives in South Carolina, and I think that there was a confusion for some reason about the jurisdiction. Mm-hmm. But the North Carolina DSS also said that it would be faster to go through South Carolina than Pat's Place, because Pat's Place is so backed up. So that's what I was told. So after 3 weeks of making the police report, they have a forensic interview where the investigator told me Leela again disclosed sexual abuse. And my other 2 children said that there was physical and other abuse, but she didn't go into detail about what that was. But she said they could not make an arrest based only on testimony. They needed other evidence, even though they declined to look for any evidence for 3 weeks before that. So then they had a forensic medical exam scheduled. That wasn't for a month and a half after I made the initial police report. So I spoke with the doctor, and I feel like that doctor was the most honest person in all of this. She said, I said to her, she said that they were healthy. The only way that there was going to be physical evidence, because those areas heal so fast, she said 99% of children the sexual abuse isn't found like that. It's if they have an STD. And I said, well, how do I know? If the police are saying this and you're telling me this, like, how do we know what happened? And so she said there's no way really to know for sure. The only way to know for sure is if, in the future, if she keeps making those claims. And she recommended counseling with a trauma specialized child counselor for my kids. So I'm on a list with DSS, but they said there's probably not going to be an opening for that until October. So I tried going through Medicaid, because we have Medicaid, but I looked on the find a provider, and there's nobody like that. There's not even a child psychologist that came up within 50 miles.
And so, what has happened since that time? Have the children been with you?
Yes, they've been with me. So I had emergency custody, and then for some reason, my father filed for emergency custody, which was, like you pointed out, was granted by a different judge. But the kids did not want to go with him. They wanted to stay with me inside the house. So he kind of let it go. And I just want to say, like, if I just had the house and child support, me and the kids would be golden, and I wouldn't have these problems. But my problem is that I don't have a house and child support.
Okay, tell me, where are you living now?
Right now, I'm back in the marital home because Kumar said since I had the custody, he was willing to let me stay in the house. And the kids are there, and they're happy, and they're glad to be there in the house with their mom.
Are you able to pay those bills?
If I had child support, I could. On my own, no, I'm going to have a very hard time. I have a $1,300 car insurance bill that's due.
I'm sorry, did you file for child support?
No, but I really need to. I can't, I was pressured by Kumar, coerced into signing like this. He financially strangled me in that house for a year. And so I signed away. He said, I thought my idea was like, I was just going to sign him whatever he wanted, leave, go start my own life. He get tired of the kids, send him back to me. That's how I was thinking that it was going to go. But I never ended up making enough money to rent an apartment. So if I have that house and child support, if that got changed and I had a house and a child support and everything went the normal way that it's supposed to go in a divorce, me and my kids would have no problems.
And so how long do you plan to be in the house?
As long as the kids are enrolled in school there, I'd like to live there. The mortgage is $1,600. I can't rent for $1,600. So if I had child support, then I could pay the mortgage.
Okay, I can't, and let me just tell you, I can't do anything about child support.
Well, I plan to stay there as long as I can because it's good for my kids, at least like to be near their school.
Where were you living prior to that?
I was staying at my dad's house with the children because I had the children, but on my own, I was staying in a hotel.
And do you have a job?
Yes, I work in construction, and I'm a personal trainer.
Okay, and what are your hours?
Typically from 8 to 4 for my construction job, but well, now because it's hot, usually 8 to 2. Or 9 to 2 even. So that's a little bit different. And then 3 nights a week doing personal training.
Okay, and who takes care of the children when you're personal training?
Well, before it was Kumar, and then it was my dad, but there's been so many like conflicts about, who can watch them or whatever at night that I'm probably gonna have to quit that job. The main reason I was doing it was because I get a discount on their aftercare and summer camp. But if, nobody else and none of the other parties cared about the discount, then enough to watch the kids for a few hours at night, then I can't keep up with it.
So was Mr. Garapati distributed the marital home?
I signed it over to him, so
Okay.
I signed everything over to him.
And when did he let you move in?
Last Sunday.
So other than that house, you don't have anywhere where you could have the children?
Right now, no. I guess my father's house. But honestly, the hotel is too small for them. They don't all fit in there. It's like a suite. I mean, it's like a studio apartment, but they're too big for that.
They all should be starting school next week, correct?
Right, and they need to be in the house near their school.
And Mr. Garapati had primary custody?
Yes.
Anything else that you'd like to say right now?
Yes, every line of what my dad filed about me is false.
I'm sorry?
Every line, I can go line by line, and all of that is false.
Anything else?
I'm really concerned about, I believe my daughter's allegations, and and I would ask for supervised visitation.
Okay. Mr. Garapati, would you like to ask her any questions? You'll have an opportunity to testify in just a few minutes.
In that same allegation, it was mentioned that...
No, hang on, you'll be able to testify. Right now it's questions. Do you have any questions for Ms. Garapati?
Why do you believe that that allegation is true when half of the story is wrong? Because she's in the story.
Don't testify, just ask the question, wait for the answer.
Why do I believe it's true? Because it was so graphic that I don't think a 5-year-old would have that knowledge. Also, the things that she said, like she said, Daddy said that he's been peeing in people's mouths since he was a teenager. Like, how does he, and Daddy said that people have peed in your mouth. That's what she said. And she said, Daddy does this because you're not here to clean. And I think that's probably based on that. I think that's when the abuse started, was after you assaulted me at the house and I called the police. And the police told me not to come by the house.
Right,
so that's why I think that.
Do you have any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. The same child disclosed in January to the school principal saying somebody shot and killed her mother. Cops came to the house.
Yeah, make sure it's a question. Isn't it true that?
But the same child is saying...
Yes, that's true that she did that. That's also true.
How do you believe it based on just her statement when there's history like that?
Because it's pretty clear and provable that nobody came into the house and I wasn't killed. I wasn't even in the house at the time. So I think that she probably came up with her own explanation about why I was not in the house. So that kind of makes sense to me.
You're just guessing right now. I'm going to see if Ms. Cowan has questions.
You're aware that there was an audio recording of the disclosures, correct?
Yes.
And you've heard that?
Yes.
I mean, correct?
Yes.
I don't mind you making an issue of it,
What I mean is permission to play the recording, or
I'm sorry?
permission to play the recording?
Yes.
I don't want to keep making an issue of it, but, you know, Leila, can you tell me what happened with Daddy?
Is that your dad?
Yes.
You have to talk louder, honey.
He's a secret.
Well, it's a secret. Did Daddy say it was a secret?
No.
No? Well,
Perhaps 5 minutes later.
maybe later, when did you tell me what Leila told you?
She just told me that we didn't know, that's all. I think what happened.
And then she said, what did it look like?
She said it was white pea that was clear.
Is that the disclosure that was made to you?
Okay,
Something similar than that. Leela's told me she was just jumping up and down in the room playing, and she said, Daddy pees in people's mouths. Daddy peed in my mouth with white pea. And then,
Ms. Cowan.
And were there any additional disclosures that she made?
yes, I asked what happens after that, and she said, oh, well, that's the other thing. When I asked her about it, she said, my mouth is zipped.
So it's a secret?
That's what she said, yes. I guess that she is saying that it's a secret and she's not going to talk. And I said, there are some things that you need to tell. If something like that happened to you, can you tell me what happened? And she said, yes. Then she repeated, he pees in her mouth. And then I was like, then what? And she said, if I close my mouth, then it'll go here and fall down my legs and on my feet. And then I was like, does anything else happen? She said that she throws up pink blood. She said she throws up pink throw up.
And did she disclose that she was threatened if you were to tell? If you don't know.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Has he in the past, I'm sure?
Yes.
How so?
There was actually DSS investigated him because when he was picking up the kids for visitation, he was, I guess, according to the children, grilling them about where I was going and what I was doing and if there was any other men.
When was this?
Last year or when I was in the house initially.
Hang on one second. I want to limit everybody's discussion about what the child said other than this disclosure. So if you don't have any personal knowledge of what happened at his house with the children, then you can't go into it, okay?
Oh, well, this was when I was in the house. So at this time, I was living at the house with the kids and he had visitation. And they said that he was grilling.
Don't say what they said.
Okay, then I don't have any, I didn't hear the threats. They just said that he was threatening them.
Don't say that.
I'll move on. So as it stands right now, there is a consent order in place that grants Mr. Garapati primary custody, correct?
Yes.
And dismisses your claims for equitable distribution, alimony, and child support, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that was a consent order that you signed, correct?
Yes.
So Mr. Garapati is the only person that has any legal right to be in that house right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so he can kick you out at any point, right?
And the kids, yes.
Okay. And is it your understanding that he intends to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you can come on down.
Thank you.
Mr. Garapati, you want to come up and testify?
Sure.
And if you'll just start by stating your name, please.
My name is Kumar Garapati.
Okay, and if you had an opportunity to read both Ms. Garapati and Mr. Sienna's motions for emergency custody?
Yes, ma'am. I
Okay,
did.
and what would you like to say?
I would like to pray you to deny all the motions.
Have you spoken with anyone from DSS?
Yes, I have attended multiple DSS investigations and CMPD investigations. This is a regular process in my life since January. So they were coming to my house every 2 months. They must have had at least 6 to 7 interviews with my kids privately and me privately.
When is the last time you've seen the children?
I dropped them off with the mom on July 1st. So after that, I saw them once in the courthouse with the mom and once when we were exchanging the keys for the house.
And do you know the status of the DSS or CMPD investigations?
I'm not sure about CMPD, but the DSS investigator told me that the kids were now saying that they were joking and their mom disclosed it to them. So they were thinking of closing the evidence.
Don't say what the worker said. What else would you like to say?
I would like to say that Kristen is having mental health challenges since 2 years. I discussed this with her dad repeatedly. Instead of helping me, he used the instability against me as a weapon. I'm taking care of 3 children full-time since January, while going through pending investigations, court dates, and multiple CMPD investigations and DSS investigations. I still managed to take great care of my kids. They did great at schools. They got awards for character, displaying 7 habits of highly effective people. And my son is selected for talent development program. She has been harassing me to leave the house and give her full custody. I'm reaching out to both of them for help. I reached out to both of them to take 50% of the custody or take them for some
You
time.
reached out to who were the 2 people?
Dan Ciano and both Kristen Garapati.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
I used to be a full-time software engineer. I'm the sole provider for the family all the 9 years, but since her mental health challenges started, I cut down on my work a bit, and I also have 3 children full-time, so I'm planning to work on a freelance basis to kind of plan my schedule according to the kids' schedule.
Ms. Cowan, would you like to ask any questions?
Yeah. So you are in favor of Mr. Sienna being a part of this case, then, correct?
I'm not in favor of him doing anything. His troubled relationship with his daughter is the root cause of all of our issues. I do not want to have anything to do with him.
Well, you asked him to have 50% of the custody of the children.
At that time, but after seeing what he filed about his own daughter and me, I think he's just waiting to get power and control over all of us and subject us to some kind of follow the orders, and I'll give you the orders.
Well, he said the same thing about his daughter that you just said, right? That she had some mental health concerns and to what she testified to, that she was living in a hotel, right?
But there should be a civil discussion. I reached out to him. He did not reply. In turn, he was coming to the court using falsified allegations about me and part of her allegations were also false.
Okay, so because he alleged those things about you, that's why you no longer want to have 50% custody, correct?
Yeah,
And it was you had a discussion with me outside, right?
yes.
Where you said that you're not going to allow Mr. Arpati to remain in the home, correct?
I would like to discuss things. I'm reaching out to people to discuss things since 1 year. It's either you take 100% and do it, or I take 100% and do it. I feel like that's impossible. Even now, they're both asking for 100% of the custody of 3 children. It's almost impossible to manage all the responsibilities and still do your full-time job.
So as it stands here today, you are not going to allow Mr. Arpati to stay in that home, correct?
I would like to negotiate that.
Yes, no. Yes or no? As it stands here today, you are not going to allow her to stay?
Yes, with certain conditions.
That's okay.
Okay, Ms. Garapati, would you like to ask him any questions?
Nothing he said really makes sense. Is it true that you've been unemployed?
Yeah, I'm freelancing. I don't have a full-time job.
How much
Because,
money do you make freelancing?
what?
How much
That's
money do you
is
make
not the issue
freelancing?
today.
Because
No,
the
don't-
point is he's
don't
not
do
making
that.
income. How much money did you take out of the house?
Sustain, we're not talking about money today.
When did you quit your job? Willingly quit your job?
Well, I first quit my job in November 2021 when I first noticed your alcoholic addiction, black magic, and all the other challenges that we're facing when kids are getting homeschooled. School was closed at that time, and learning is all happening remotely. They're behind my desk, not doing anything, and you're not taking care of them. That's when I cut down my hours to focus on them. And then I got 2 jobs last year in December, 2 jobs. And you said, I can't do this, you need to do this, and you signed everything to me. And the only restriction you asked me to take it off is cohabitation. And that's the only thing you asked for.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I got 2 jobs in
First
December.
off, that's not what happened at all.
Okay, you can't argue with him, you can ask him questions. Do you have another question for him?
If you're telling me that you quit your job because of me, which you said from the beginning, why is it that you insisted that you quit your job because you were starting this freelancing gig?
Okay, at this point, this is not relevant. We're talking about this emergency situation with the children, not anything about quitting jobs. Do you have any other questions?
Why haven't you been paying on the house?
I'm sorry?
He hasn't been paying on the house.
Okay, that's a
and the
money
children
question.
are
You
sick.
can come on down. Mr. Garapati, come on down. Ms. Carroll, would you like to call your client?
Your Honor, I would just like to be heard at the appropriate time.
Do what?
I would like to have the recording entered as my exhibit 1. I have flash drives for everybody, and then I would just like to be heard at the appropriate time.
Okay, let me just ask, do you have any information about the status of DSS or CMPD?
I do not. I would ask that in any order that the court enter, I didn't catch the name of the, I know it was in past place, the place in South Carolina where the forensic interview, I would ask that the court enter in order that those records be brought to the court under seal.
Ms. Garapati, could you repeat the name of that place in South Carolina?
Sure, it's the Palmetto Citizens Against Sexual Assault.
Okay. And do you know, is it DSS in North Carolina or South Carolina handling this?
DSS in North Carolina.
Okay, and do you have a caseworker?
Yes, her name is Ivy.
Ivy, do you know her last name?
I don't know her last name, but I have her phone number because I stay in contact with them.
Okay. And was there a police officer assigned, a detective?
Yes, Detective Tatiana Borja.
Tatiana,
Borja is B-O-R-J-A.
Can you spell that one more time for me?
B-O-R-A-J, or J-A, I'm sorry.
okay. Ms. Carroll, what would you like to say?
Your Honor, my client is seeking to intervene in this case. My client does have concerns with both parties, obviously. Very, 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 very concerned about the sexual abuse allegations that have been made. There have been concerns raised by Mr. Garapati with respect to mental health concerns with Ms. Garapati And we have filed motions that we intend to pursue with respect to that. At this juncture, we feel the main focus of our emergency custody was the instability of the children along with the sexual abuse allegations. She was staying in a hotel, she was in and out of his home, etc. While the kids are in the home with the Garapati, my client feels secure in their stability, especially with his involvement, being able to see them, etc. So he's not asking for custody to go to him today, but he is asking for the court to allow him to intervene today. With respect to the sexual abuse allegations, we're asking that Mr. Garapati have nothing to supervise visitation. We believe that the supervision center is the most appropriate for that, as we don't believe that anybody in this room would be appropriate to supervise. Your Honor, the problem here, as Your Honor is well aware, is that there is absolutely no legal right of Ms. Garapati to be in that home. And Mr. Garapati can kick her and the children out at any moment, and we believe that that's going to happen. And that's why it's necessary for my client to continue to be in it, because when that happens, we're going to be in the exact same spot.
If we want him to intervene today, I haven't heard anything about standing or his relationship with the children, what his role in their lives has been.
Your Honor, Ms. Garapati testified that she was living there periodically with my client, that she was relying upon him. Mr. Garapati testified that
I was not relying.
Okay, stop, don't argue, please.
That Mr. Garapati testified that even he had asked Mr. Sienna to maintain 50-50 custody of the children with him. So it's clear that the relationship between the children were living with him, the children had a parental relationship with him as Mr. Garapati was asking him to have custody of them. So that by itself would allow my client to have standing to intervene at this point.
Okay, this is a very preliminary hearing. I don't have anything from DSS or from the Palmetto Center. I don't have anything from CNPD. And so I'm just relying on what two of you said to me today. I am going to continue the order with mom having emergency custody in full force and effect. I want Mr. Garapati to have some sort of supervised visitation at least once a week. Ms. Cowan, can you do this order?
Yes.
Through Supervised Visitation Exchange Center. And I want to appoint Counsel for Children's Rights. The problem is they are not available until the 1st of September. And let me tell you all about Counsel for Children's Rights. It's an organization here in Charlotte where, and I would appoint them, and they would be attorneys for the children. So they would talk to you and your friends, look at school records, same thing with you, same thing with Mr. Sienna. They would investigate everything on behalf of the children, and they would come to court with a custody advocate and guardian ad litem. They would come to court and say, they would ask questions. They'd be essentially the children's voice in the courtroom and make recommendations about what should happen. But that allows the children to have representation and for Counsel for Children's Rights to investigate. Do you all have any objection to having them appointed?
Well, I would need more information on that. I'm not familiar with any of this, so I'd like to have more information and find out about it.
Okay. All right, well then, I think right now, we'll get you, do we have pamphlets or?
I don't think so.
You can just give us the name.
Also, in regards to his comments about my mental health, like, I'm not.
Wait, stop.
Yeah,
Ms.
yeah.
Garapati, stop, please.
Okay.
I am ordering that the status quo that is in effect right now remain in effect, and we need to come back, I would say in 2 weeks, at which time I want you to have investigated Counsel for Children's Rights, if that's what you need to do, both of you. I want Ms. Cowan, if possible, to subpoena the records from Pat's Place, or I'm sorry, the Palmetto Center from...
It's an out-of-state subpoena. That's why I was asking for it to be in the order that,
Oh, yes.
that they be produced to the
Yeah,
court.
if you just put that in the order.
Yeah.
And then,
Excuse me, actually, the police and DSS should have those
okay, we'll
in
figure
North
it out.
Carolina.
Okay, and then let's see if we can get the DSS worker in here and figure out the status of the CNBD case as well. and figure out where to go from here. And at that hearing, we will have, on that day, we'll have a hearing on whether to appoint counsel for children's rights and also on the intervener's motion, okay? And that would be the 8th of September at 9 o'clock in this courtroom. Okay. And Ms. Cowan is going to prepare an order and get that copies to you all. And we'll see you back on the 8th, okay? All right.
Your Honor, are you holding that spot for us?
Yes, we're going to try. Thank you. Yeah. So, Ms. Garapati, the Council for Children's Rights, okay? All right. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, let me call,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you. Call the 1:30 calendar. Lindsey Brioche, William Brioche.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Lindsey Easterling on behalf of William Deutsch.
Okay, right, sorry.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Lexi Martin on behalf of Lindsey George.
Okay. And are you all wanting to go forward today? Okay. And then, let's see, at how much time?
I believe it'll take I probably need an hour on my side.
Okay, we might not have that.
Okay.
I'll come back. Quilunter, none. Deja Peterson Bragg.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
And is that your client's motion for contempt?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we need a public defender on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I am also scheduled to start at evening trial with Judge Patterson at 2:30. I just don't know what time.
I think that we'll try to get a PD in here as soon as possible, but the first case I have this afternoon is the Desmond Sabb versus Shamika Smith matter. And we have to start with that. One of the parties is from Connecticut and has a flight to catch. So we'll go with that first and then see where we stand, okay? All right. Ms. Hopper, you all ready?
Your Honor, I don't know where Ms. Smith is, and Ms. Monica in court about 20 minutes ago, so.
Who did what?
I'm sorry.
You say all that again.
I don't know where Ms. Smith is, and Ms. Monica left the courtroom about 20 minutes ago, so she'll be back.
Let's try to find her. Before we start anything else, let's see if we can find her.
I'll check that schedule.
Okay.
She's not out there, because she's not back yet.
Okay. Has anyone seen Ms. Smith? No.
I haven't seen her yet, Your Honor.
I have not, Your Honor. If you recall, I'm a witness and a jury doctor. I can, well, I'm not sure if it's appropriate, it would be part of our testimony.
I'm sorry, remind me who you are.
I'm Titus with Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
I
She's our
testified
subpoena
before.
witness, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, we'll wait until she comes in. Maybe they need. And we also need that PD for the other. And Ms. Easterling and who's on this? Ms. Martin, if you all want to talk, I don't know if that would help. Okay, all right, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Did you raise your hand?
I was seeing if the public defenders,
I'm sorry?
I was seeing if the public defenders,
For what case?
Lamonte Nunn and Deja Peterson Brown.
I'm sorry?
Lamonte Nunn and Deja Peterson Brown.
I don't see that. Oh, yes, we're looking for a public defender.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is none.
Yes. I don't have one.
Okay. This,
Ms. Peterson Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Ms. Shear, and she's a public defender. She'll talk to you in just a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And Ms. Herring is on the other side, I'm sorry, Ms. Shear.
Ms. Peterson Brown?
Anything?
Ms. Palenko said she left something in her office and she's not going to be back. And she expects Ms. Smith is in the courthouse somewhere. She's not here. Oh, she's here? Oh, okay. Okay.
Ms. Smith is here?
Yes, she's.
Oh, okay. All
Okay.
right, we're waiting for Ms. Miller to get back.
question. So we were subpoenaed for the Boyce file, for Mr. Boyce. We also had travel plans for my husband's birthday. We had to rearrange all of our travel plans and our 3 kids. So I just want to make sure that as we sit here on his birthday and we rearranged and had to do all these things, that we're actually going to be able to do this.
What, I'm sorry, what case?
The Boyce.
Okay. The attorneys are talking right now, and I'll get to it as soon as possible. I can't start anything at this moment because I don't have a public defender.
You guys have a creative resolution, hang on.
Okay, thank you.
You want me to review it? Okay.
Is there anyone who plans to testify here, can you please stand, raise your right hand?
Everybody that's going to testify is been subpoenaed to testify will stand.
Do each of you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth on your solemn affirmation?
Okay, we are going to be limited to an hour total.
Okay.
Which I can keep time, each of you 30 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. We found a motion for contempt and a show of cause. I believe the verdict is shifted to plaintiff.
Is it civil contempt?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, let me grab this file.
No, it's criminal, Your Honor.
Hold on one second, let me get the file. Okay, if it's criminal, then the burden doesn't shift. Ms. Eastrom, how would you like to proceed?
I'm going to start with some witnesses, Your Honor, so that we can get them in and out here as fast as
Okay. And the chair on the slide forward, you can adjust the mic.
Okay. Would you please state your name and for the record?
Shayna Harris,
And what county do you reside in?
Mecklenburg.
And how long have you known Brady Bridge?
I don't know Brady. I know of Brady because I met him one time at the kindergarten after school celebration, which was our son is in second grade, so 2 years ago.
So your son and Bryce, the Bridge's son, are both going into second grade?
Yes,
And you knew of him since kindergarten about 2 years ago?
2 years ago, we were introduced.
Okay. And do you know Lindsey Bridge?
I do.
Okay. And when did you meet Lindsey Bridge at your son's birthday party? Was that the first time you met her?
No, I actually gave me her contact information after I reached out to him a couple of times to try to get the days together. We were able to reschedule, so he said to contact Wednesday.
Okay. And so you've met Lindsey Bridge?
Yes.
Okay. And Lindsey Bridge has told you that Brady had an affair during their marriage. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And that is something that she told you either the first or second time that you met? Okay. When did you learn of that?
We had hung out several times before I learned that.
Okay. So you have regular playdates with Lindsay and Bryce and your son, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
Okay, and your sons are on the same baseball team?
They were?
Okay, and you don't have any playdates with Brady and Bryce?
No.
Okay, and that's because of what Lindsay's talked to you about?
No, that's because I tried multiple times, and he said to contact Wednesday, and I got that he's a parent. And his schedule is very fluctuating, so I just never worked out.
Okay, and is it your understanding that Bryce knows that Brady had an affair?
Absolutely. That came out except because playdates.
Okay, and what about your son? Is your son aware of?
Absolutely. My son is 7. I had a great conversation about him, very seriously, so everything has to do with the hands.
And when you said it was private girl time, where were you when this conversation happened with Lindsay? Okay, your house or her house, but the kids are in the house, but not near you? No, to which one? Okay, but they're in the house because you're having play dates. Okay, I'm looking for them.
Okay. And, you need to wait, obviously.
Oh, shoot, sorry.
No further questions, John.
Okay, you can go, thank you.
Mr. Roy Harris? Could you please state your name for the record?
Elroy Harris,
Okay. And what county do you reside in?
Mecklenburg County.
And how long have you known the Brady Bridge?
This baseball season.
This baseball season, does start like in, not January, February, but sometime in the spring?
Don't let me lie to you. I can't remember the date. This year.
But you actually knew him when your son started kindergarten as well, is that correct?
No.
How did you not know him?
Well, I met him this year.
Your sons were in the same kindergarten class, correct? And you met at kindergarten orientation?
Yes.
And Brady gave you...
No, not kindergarten orientation. My son's in the first grade, so it would have been this year. No,
Okay.
the beginning of the school year last year. That's it. That's the truth.
Okay, you did not give your wife Brady's phone number in kindergarten, correct? Okay. Has Lindsey Houk told you that Brady had an affair?
No.
After this was filed, our motion for contempt was filed, the baseball season was still happening, correct?
I think so.
Okay, and after you filed that, you refused to communicate or speak to Mr. Broich during the rest of the baseball season, is that accurate?
Oh, no. I mean, I spoke to him. When he mentioned my name and something that I didn't want to be involved with, I was a little pissed off.
Okay.
But I still spoke to him that day.
Okay. So you're saying Ms. Broich, Lindsay, did not tell you about Brady having an affair? Okay, I have nothing further.
Okay, hang on one second.
Mr. Harris, have you ever witnessed any other parents at baseball practice acting negatively towards Brady?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. Have you ever noticed any other parents at baseball practice acting negatively towards Brady?
No?
Nothing further on?
Nothing what?
Nothing further on.
Okay. Was Easterling anything else? No. Okay, you can come on down, thank you.
Renee?
Yeah, anybody, can I let this witness go?
Yes, they may be.
Okay, thank you.
I have the right to that.
And you were sworn in, correct?
Yes.
Could you please state your name and maybe spell it for the record?
It's Cornell Britta, C-O-R-N-E, last name B-O-T-H-A.
And how long have you known Brady?
4 years.
Okay. And how long have you known Lindsay?
I met her last year at my son's birthday party.
Okay. Is your son also going into the second grade like Bryce?
No, third grade.
Third grade, okay. And what was your first interaction with when you met Miss Broich?
I was pleased to meet her, and then she told me about the divorce and why they got divorced.
Okay. And how soon after you met her did that conversation happen?
The first couple of minutes, basically.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
It's the first couple of minutes.
Okay. And where did this conversation happen? Where were the both of you located at?
We were at Ninja Nation in Huntersville.
Ninja Nation?
Yes.
Okay. And were the kids, your son and Bryce, present?
Yes, both were.
Okay. Were they in hearing distance of that?
No.
Okay.
Not at
Is
all.
your son aware of Mr. Broich having an affair?
No.
Okay. Has Bryce talked to you about
No.
having an affair? What did you think about when that interaction happened between you and Lindsay?
I think it was a bit inappropriate because I don't know the situation.
It was
And
what?
inappropriate, and it made me uncomfortable. For me, it's all about the kids, and the parents must resolve their own issues.
Okay. Has she talked to you about the affair other than that first interaction?
No.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Okay, any questions?
When you first met Miss Broich at your son's birthday party, do you remember what you said to her when you first met her?
No.
Could you? No further questions.
All right, you can come on down, you're free to go, thank you.
Coordinator, you're free to go.
And you were sworn in, correct? Okay.
The chair has the microphone does.
Okay.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Julie Lee,
And what county do you reside in?
Mecklenburg,
Okay. And how long have you known Brady?
3 years.
Are your children in the same grade at
Correct.
school? Okay. And it's also a son that you have with his?
Yes, Camden.
Okay. And do you also know Miss Broich?
I do.
Okay. And has Miss Broich talked to you about Brady's affair when they were married?
No, not when they were married.
What about after when you met her? Did she talk to you about why they separated or?
Yes.
Okay. What did she tell you?
I was told he had an affair.
Okay. Did she talk to you about any other details of the court filings?
No.
Okay, were the children in the home or in the same location when she talked to you about this?
No. They're about a half a mile away at a park.
Okay. And since then, has your son found out that Mr. Broich had an affair when he was married?
Apparently, that's why I'm here.
Okay, has your son told you that?
My son asked me what cheating was.
Okay. And
I said that's none of our business.
okay. And has there been any other communication between your son and you about this?
No, because we don't talk about that in front of our child.
Okay. And did you find it inappropriate when Ms. Broich talked to you about her affair?
I found it woman to woman.
Okay.
Something to talk about. And I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing.
Okay. And you reside in the same neighborhood as Mr. Broich and...
Correct.
Okay. And your kids are going to continue to go to the same school from now until someone moves?
Correct.
Okay. And is this something that you're aware that Bryce knows that his dad had an affair?
I don't know. I don't know if Bryce knows. Bryce never told me that.
Okay. And you seem upset. What are you upset about right now?
I don't like that I'm here. I mean, my son said something to Brady when he was volunteering at my son's school lunch in first grade. My son also can tell you he flew to the moon yesterday.
Okay. You think your child is not an honest kid?
No, I know he's honest. Okay. But I'm saying he also makes up stories.
Okay, so are you alleging that it's made up?
I'm not alleging. I know my son. I'm just saying he's just turned 7 in April.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea where he heard that from, but I assume it was Bryce. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. You did or did not ask your son how he found out about an affair?
I said, who told you that?
Okay.
He said Bryce.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Lee, has Mr. Broich ever spoken negatively about Ms. Broich to you?
The day that I talked to him on the phone, yes, he did.
And when was this?
The day that he sent me a message via text and Facebook, trying to find out why my son asked him, or that he knew that he cheated on Bryce's mom at lunch that day.
Do you know how long ago this was?
April
of 2023?
Yes.
And what did Ms. Broich say about Ms. Broich?
Well, on that conversation, when I was trying to explain that what my child said to me, or trying to explain what my very unfiltered son's mouth to Brady to make him not be so upset about it, he said something about Lindsey, or that he got awarded full custody and she was a stay-at-home mom.
Did he say anything else about Ms. Broich?
Not that I remember. I didn't need to know that either. I need to be involved.
No further questions.
Okay. Did you have something else? All right, you can come on down. Thank you.
I call Ms. Broich to the stand.
Okay, let's come on.
We have to psychiatrist.
Yes.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Lindsey Houk.
You can hold that, but you don't have to speak directly.
Sorry.
Ms. Broich, where do you reside?
In Huntersville.
Okay. And during the summer, you don't reside in Huntersville, is that accurate?
That's not accurate.
During the summer, you stated in your response to this motion that Bryce does not spend one night in your home in Huntersville during the summer because you're a teacher. Is that correct?
I am a full-time teacher with Cabarrus County in North Carolina. I'm a first grade teacher. With a summer schedule, it does allow me for us to have time off, my same schedule that Bryce does. And we do have family that live in Virginia. We have cousins of Bryce's. We also have taken, this summer, the Cabarrus County school schedule changed when they're starting and stopping the schools August start date. And so my summer schedule was shortened by a few weeks this year. So you're talking a matter of 3 weeks was the quote unquote summer. And then also of that time, 2 of those weeks are designated vacation weeks. So I took my son to do extracurricular activities and do things fun with family and do things that Bryce enjoyed.
You noted that you have cousins and family, but you conveniently did not say that you are also taking Bryce to go see your boyfriend and his children, also in Virginia.
My boyfriend and his children also came on the vacations with my family, but yes, absolutely, I do have a boyfriend who lives in Virginia. He comes here, I would say 90% of the time.
Okay.
And he was present on those same vacations. Bryce spent less than 48 hours in my boyfriend's home in the whole summer.
Okay, but not last summer. Last summer, Bryce did not spend a night home over the entire summer.
We travel in the summertime. When Brady and I were married, we also traveled in the summertime. It does not mean that I do not reside in North Carolina. This is where Bryce and my home is in North Carolina. That is why I have a full-time job here.
Okay, and the transportation to your boyfriend's house is approximately 5 hours? Is that how long it takes to get there one way?
It's 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours to his house?
Correct.
And how long to get to your parents' house?
It is 5.5 hours.
Okay, and that's one way?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 7 hours to Brady's families.
So let's talk about your summer, or let's talk about you telling people about Brady's affair. You understand in your order it says you're not allowed to talk disparagingly about Brady. Is that accurate?
I would like to make this part of my testimony very clear.
I need you to ask me. I need you to answer my question.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes. Let me read this to you and see if you understand this. The party shall not degrade, criticize, or criticize the other parent in the presence of the minor child, nor allow them to remain in the presence of others doing so.
I have never done that.
And then neither party is to discuss in the presence of the minor child past or current perceived wrongs or faults of the other parent, or any litigation-related matters.
I have never done that either.
Okay, and neither party is to speak negatively about the other parent within hearing of the minor child or allow anyone else to do so.
I understand that is the order correct.
Okay. My question to you is, you've told, there were 4 people that testified. One, Mr. Harris said you did not tell him, but these other 3 people said you did tell them that Brady had an affair. Do you recall saying that to each of those people?
Yes, can I answer you, but also explain?
Your turn to ask you questions and you can answer them.
No problem.
So you told those 3 people, all of the 3 times that you told them, the children were, they said not within hearing distance, but present. Is that accurate?
Miss Easterling, there were children there. Never in my life, no matter what happens between that man and me, would I do anything or say anything. It would not help Bryce. I would never say it in front of other children. It would not happen.
I hear what you're saying, but my question is, isn't it possible, isn't it likely that if you tell every parent in Bryce's life, he's going to hear about it?
I do not tell every parent, and the reason I even said anything to, I can't pronounce the woman's name, Cornay. The only reason I even said anything to her, would you like to know what she said to me when I walked in that birthday party, having just met that person for the first time?
No, you can tell me, that's when you're trying to
Okay.
ask you. So at that point, when you're telling these people about your affair, about his affair, about your end of your relationship.
In private settings.
But how is that beneficial to Bryce? He's found out.
He's not going to hear. I would never have that conversation. I have answered this question.
Okay. Are you aware that Julie, who just testified, her son has said, I know why you got a divorce. It's because it's because Brady cheated on your mom, and that's why they don't live together. Are you aware of that statement that was made at the lunch table?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, I object to that hearsay, that it wasn't, I'm not offering that for the truth of the matter, sir, just that it was stated. It doesn't matter whether that is true, what the child said. It's not the truth. It's the fact that it was said.
How is she supposed to know that it was said?
I wasn't present, and you're talking about him and 2 children.
Okay. I believe that this has now been conversations that she has contacted Julie and talked to Julie about this. Is this something that she is aware
If you
of?
want to rephrase that.
Yes. Are you aware that that there was a conversation from Julie's son to Brady about an affair at the lunch table? Are you aware of that?
The only part that I have knowledge of is because Brady wrote in an Our Family Wizard message to me, okay?
Okay.
An incident that he claims, he was the only adult there to hear that, and 2 children, which my child has not come to me and asked me a single thing about it.
Okay. So Bryce has not spoken to you about this
No.
entire issue?
No,
Okay.
nor have I taken it upon myself to ask him.
So your
Or talk to him.
interpretation of this part of the order that the judge gave us, that the judge said this is important, your interpretation is you're allowed to talk about what happened between you and Brady, you just have to make sure Bryce doesn't hear about it. Is that your interpretation?
My interpretation is to act in good faith as a good co-parent with Brady to raise Bryce, and that part of the order, I think, is absolutely valid and makes sense to not have a conversation about what has happened with Brady and I in front of Bryce or other children that can hear, which I did not.
Okay, so that's your understanding and interpretation, to not have those conversations where Brady or where Bryce or other children can hear?
I have not had that. I have not done that, is what I keep on trying to tell you.
Is it also your understanding that when the court stated that you needed to reside primarily in North Carolina, that just meant you had to have a rental home here?
Miss Easterling, our son is here. We are co-parenting to raise our son. I have a residence, which I spend a hefty portion of my paycheck to make sure that he is in a safe home and has a great place to live and have friends. And I have got a full-time job. I got beginning teacher of the year for Cabarrus County. You don't get that because you don't stay after work because you're flying off every Friday, okay? I have a full-time job here. I am dedicated to being here for Bryce and co-parenting, hopefully a lot cooperatively than what is happening right now.
After the order was entered, you were given the opportunity to either move here or finish your teaching degree in Virginia. You finished your teaching degree in Virginia and moved here in 2021, is that correct?
As soon as I could possibly move here after I finished my teaching degree in December of 2021, I moved here, and I so much so tried to get ingrained, and I took a mid-year teaching position with a Title I school in South Charlotte. And prior to even graduating, my boyfriend and I came down to Virginia to rent that house, or he came with me, I rented the house, but he came with me to help set up Bryce's room so that at the earliest possible opportunity, Bryce would be able to have a loving, warm, and home and environment to come home to.
And when you say boyfriend, this was a different boyfriend, correct?
No, that would be the same boyfriend sitting right there that I've been dating for over 2 years.
Okay. But different than the boyfriend that you had at the hearing, the family court trial that also lived in Virginia?
Correct.
Okay.
Brady was also dating somebody different at the time.
I did not ask that. Straight. Straight, please. When Bryce was residing here, or since Bryce has always resided here, he's been involved in extracurricular activities, correct?
Absolutely.
Baseball, things with church, and other
Yes.
things like that.
Taekwondo, baseball.
And isn't it true that you did not take Bryce to choir on several occasions, even though that's something that he's been involved in since he was very young, since before kindergarten?
Bryce has been involved in a handful of different activities, and I am very supportive of everything that Bryce is involved in. Our court order states that parenting time will look different with each parent, and that neither parent is supposed to try to manipulate or control what that time looks like with the other parent. I was not the one that was advocating for Bryce to be in Taekwondo. That was something Brady suggested. I went along with it. I took Bryce there. The first time he was at Taekwondo, the child cried profusely and for weeks begged me to tell him not to go. And it took multiple times of Bryce coming to me crying, saying he didn't want to go, And we FaceTimed Brady while he was in the cockpit one day because I said, Bryce, do you tell your dad that you don't want to go to these things? And he said no. And I said, well, your dad will not get mad at you, but you need to be honest and be able to talk to both of your parents and tell them how you really feel. And so he told Brady in the parking lot that he did not want to participate in Taekwondo. The same thing happened, and then Brady and I withdrew him from Taekwondo, and it was not a problem. The same thing happened with choir. And Bryce loves baseball. I don't miss a practice, even when it's Brady's time. I take him to attend every practice, all games possible, most of the games. So you're bringing up the choir as if I'm withdrawing our child from activities is not accurate. I didn't take him to some of them for a certain portion of the time because Bryce was telling me he did not want to go and that one of the children there was mean to him. And I told Brady beforehand that that would be what was happening.
So you actually told Brady that it was because of other things that you had going on.
There were a multitude of reasons.
Spirit days, and a spirit day is when the school is like raising.
The problem in what you're saying right now is you're manipulating what happened. This choir conversation happened multiple times over the course of like a year. And I did not withdraw our child from any extracurricular activities.
Are you saying that you said with Taekwondo, Brady and Bryce had a communication, and Bryce said, I don't want to attend anymore, and he was withdrawn from that program, correct?
We all three had a conversation.
Okay, but you did not have that same conversation about choir, you just chose not to take him because Bryce said he didn't want to.
I had been in communication with Brady, and Bryce had even told him. Brady actually gave him a hard time on FaceTime one time. When he had said, oh, are you getting ready to go to choir? And Bryce said, no, I don't want to go today. And Brady's like, well, I think your friends are going to miss you. Aren't your friends going to be sad that you don't go?
I don't want to hear more about what Bryce said.
Okay. Okay.
So if you could turn to tab F, as in Frank. The second page in there, this is an email from you, from our family wizard to Brady.
I'm having a hard time turning your thing. Just give me.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So the second page in F.
Okay.
Okay, a message from you through our family wizard. This is January 1st, 2023, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're saying, the second sentence, there will be weeks where he goes and weeks where he might have alternate things going on, such as holiday, GOE spirit nights, my school spirit nights, Bryce has enjoyed coming to, occasionally family nights, and things at my church. So this isn't, you're not telling you, this is what you wrote to Brady, correct?
At one point in when...
Is this what you wrote to Brady?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And
Absolutely.
this is not saying Bryce doesn't want to go. This is saying I'm finding alternative things for him to do instead of choir.
Bryce had already been coming to me saying he didn't want to go.
But did you,
Okay.
you didn't communicate anything other than this to Brady?
Not at this time. I did later. I did later tell him
Is
Bryce
Bryce
didn't want
in
to go.
choir right now?
Yes.
You also made an allegation in your response that that Mr. Rich tried to schedule this particular hearing. It would require you to change major things for your vacation. Do you recall making that allegation?
He scheduled it on June 27th, I believe it was, and that is the time that he already had for months knowledge that we had rented a house and were taking Bryce to Disney.
Okay, and you drove to and from Disney with your boyfriend and his children, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and that was the last day of your vacation. That would have been a final day or a transportation day, the 27th.
Correct.
Okay, so, but you put in your order, in your motion, that you were going to have to buy a plane ticket. You didn't actually...
In order to get home in time, yes, I would have.
So, but you didn't have a plane ticket already purchased?
We would have had to forego the vacation, the second half of the vacation that was prepaid for.
For one day, for the travel day?
We would not have came back the day of, or the day before. We would have come back ahead of time. I wouldn't have done that.
Okay, and then additionally, we scheduled this on the 27th of June, which is when you did not have school. School was out, correct?
Correct?
Okay, and now you're missing school to be here today, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, nothing further for Lindsay.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we'd like to reserve further testimony to our case in chief.
Okay, we're running short on time. You can come on down.
She would like to be our only witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
I just have a couple brief questions to ask
Okay.
Mr. Bright when I'm finished.
Do I get?
You can leave that there. Could you please state your name for the record?
William Birch.
And do you go by Brady?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your address?
8422 Brentfield Road, Huntersville, North Carolina, 28078.
Okay, and you were previously married to Lindsay, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and can you tell us what happened at Bryce's elementary school in April of this year?
All right, so I volunteer in the cafeteria as well as some other school things, and there's a couple different, all the first grade classes are there together, about 5 classes. You help kids with whatever they need, opening food and so forth. Anyways, that's where Sussex came in, their friends. Camden's Julie's son.
Julie was the last one to testify?
Yes, ma'am. So she sits next to her. So, you know, she kind of walk around, kind of see if kids need help and so forth, and it was, Kim said that,
Your Honor, I object to the hearsay objection or have a follow-up with that and state that it's going to be an excited utterance. This is something that is important to this trial.
all right, so as I walked by, he kind of shouted out to me, Bryce has a secret, or Bryce told me a secret that I'm not supposed to tell you. And so, you know, I mean, I obviously didn't think much of it, and, you know, kind of went on my way to kind of the other tables and so forth. And as I kind of made my way back around towards that table, again, he shouted out to me, Bryce told me that the reason you and his mom aren't together is because you cheated on her. And I mean, I was obviously kind of dumbfounded in that moment. I didn't say anything. I just kind of continued on and kind of tried to process that.
So this is Camden, another first grader.
Right, and this was on April 21st was the day that this, April 21st of this year. So the kids all get their lunch, line up and so forth to go.
Did Bryce see this interaction?
He was sitting right next to Camden.
What was his demeanor?
He was surprised.
Okay.
But surprised in the sense that he kind of looked as though it was like, you know, that he told the secret, basically.
Okay. And then did you speak with Julie after that scenario?
Right, so what happened was I came home, Julie knew we've been friends for 3 or 4 years now, and I reached out to her, I was like, hey, Camden said this to me, you know, this happened at school today. I said, I've known Camden for a while, Julie for a while. The kids had already started baseball together, and I noticed as I'm out coaching, I noticed that, like, Lindsay and Julie would, like, walk around the field, like, kind of exercise. So obviously what's gone on in the 5 years of this, from day one, post-order, everything, I fully expected. You know, Lindsay told her neighborhood what happened, Lindsay told my friends what happened, Lindsay. It's been exposed to a lot of people. It's kind of tarnished a lot of relationships that Bryce and I have had, to the detriment of our son. And so anyways, I've seen him communicate, I've seen him talk, and so, you know, I had a suspicion. I asked Julie, you know, has Lindsay told you about this? And she said, yes, she had. We had a discussion as far as whether or not that had been communicated to her.
Have you had any discussions about this with Lindsay, other than the one email through our family wizard?
As far as not talking to people?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that specifically. I mean, I thought that kind of what we had from the order was pretty straightforward. And my expectation at that point was that the chatter about all that would stop and get into the detriment of Bryce, to where now there's these kind of children he can and cannot play with.
What do you mean by that?
So what's going on is, obviously, as people kind of process what they've been told, in our life, you kind of have 2 different paths people go down. You know, they're like, well, I know Bryce, our kids play together.
Objection.
to what?
I thought he was explaining what people had told him.
I objected.
Just
He said he was giving it.
mindset. I was just saying, like, the mindset is that either, as was alluded to with some, that, you know, the kids play great, they know me, I'm a good dad, you know, all that stuff, and, you know, so there's some that he's able to continue to play with, and then there's other people that, sometimes they find that out, the first time that, you know, Lindsey meets somebody, and then all of a sudden they kind of, drop off communication, and Bryce asked me, I'm sorry, no.
Specifically with the first woman that testified, Ms. Harris.
Right.
Is that something that you experienced with that family, with the Harris family?
Correct. I don't know if you want me to kind of retrace, but what they said is not true as far as how the chain of communication began. I mean, that was all 100% false, basically. But they said that they wanted me at the year end.
Sustained.
When they met you, after they met Lindsey, was there a change in their relationship?
That's correct. So we had communicated via text first before, because that communication started when Lindsey was still living in Virginia. They had their son's birthday party was coming up. Bryce was going to be with Lindsey during that time, and not only so, at that point, as we had communicated quite a bit, talked about getting the kids together, they could play great in school, they're best friends, da-da-da-da. And we talked about, you know, hey, let's set up some time for these kids to play. They love playing together, which they do, just not with me.
So in this moment, they've had play dates with Lindsey and
exclusively. Correct, yes. So
does that happen also with Julie's son?
No, there are areas where it's kind of occurred. There's others, but so we had kind of established that, you know, like so that you know, Bryce was not going to be with me; he was going to be with Lindsey during that time. But here's her number, you know, to kind of set up for the logistics of the birthday party. And then after the birthday,
I have a question that's separate from this. How do you think that this discussion of what happened in your divorce with these parents is affecting Bryce?
It presents a scenario where he's not able to play with children other than half the time, and as a child, it's difficult to understand why that's the case. He doesn't understand. It's difficult to understand why I'm only friends with Jet half the time, or I'm only friends with Henry half the time, or I'm only friends with whoever half the time.
Speculation.
I'm sorry?
Speculation.
To what?
Him explaining how this is detrimental to the child without the child being here testifying.
And so what I experience is this confusion over why I can only be friends with certain people at certain times, and you kind of, it's like these like alliances over who can be friends. It all seems very like sophomoric to me, and like I said, what bothers me about it is it affects negatively Bryce. He doesn't understand why I can only have partial friendships. These people can't come over. I can't go to those people's houses. If a birthday party falls when he's with me, he's not going to be able to go. I mean, all these different things, and it's just...
Is it your understanding that Bryce also, like, so Camden stated things to you at the lunch table. Is it your understanding that Bryce believes you had an affair or cheated on his mom?
Yes, it was a discussion that was had.
And is that something that you've ever talked to Bryce about?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Ms. Eastrom, you're really out of time.
That'd be perfect.
Okay. All right, yes, ma'am, do you want to ask questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Questions. Mr. Bryce, will you turn to tab D?
Delta? D Delta?
Yes.
Okay.
Was it your testimony that Bryce told Camden and then Camden told you about some kind of affair, something along those lines?
That's correct.
Well, if you'll read this communication, it states, I volunteered in the cafeteria today, and Camden, while sitting next to Bryce, told me that he knows that the reason you and I aren't together is because I cheated on you. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Is there any mention in this email about Bryce telling Camden and Camden saying this came from Bryce?
There's not, I didn't include everything in the email that happened, but just because it's excluded doesn't mean I wasn't part of it. I mean, I was writing this, emotionally immediately after, and I mean, every single part of it wasn't necessarily included. That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
It's my understanding, is it correct that you're saying that you have never had any, while you had custody of Bryce, you've never had play dates with the Harrises, is that correct?
That's correct.
The whole time, you've known them, is that right?
The only time there was a peer review at some friend's house, at a friend's house, and they came afterwards, knowing that we were there.
Do you know, when you first met the Harrises, how far after that Ms. Broich allegedly talked to them about your relationship?
Well, we actually, as opposed to June of 2022, which was mentioned earlier, it was actually February of 22 was when we had, January, February 2022 was when we had exchanged text messages back and forth about getting the kids together. And then I believe, and it's in here, but March 4th, I believe it is, of 2022 is when Lindsey texted me that she was, that a mother had reached out to her about a birthday party. So March 4th of 2022.
In February 2022, did you ever have play dates with the Harrises and their kids?
Because at that time it was, we had discussed it, we had set that up, but I mean, the timing hadn't allowed for it yet to where we were able to do that.
It's also your testimony that you've never had any play dates with Bryce in your custody with Miss Julie Lee, is that right?
I'm sorry, they never had play dates, so I really played quite a bit.
Can you name it?
I'm trying to find a bit over to our house to play. They play, we were, they were like the soccer fields to play, or the pool. Bryce is, played over for a little while at their house. Once before, after the pool. Camden has never played at our house, but the play dates are kind of at a different setting.
Can you name any other parents of children Bryce's age who you feel like their relationship has changed in regard to play dates since you've known them? Literally every parent in the neighborhood on my street that I live. So Kevin Lee and Lynch's children, Jennifer and Jeff Lee's children. Let's see, who else has told me? Trying to think. I mean, so them. Did you know that couple while you and Ms. Broich were still married?
Yeah, since 2015.
Did Bryce have play dates with the Lynch's children or child when you guys were married?
He did.
Were you present at these play dates?
Yes.
Mr. Broich, what is your current occupation?
I'm a pilot at Delta.
And what is your yearly salary currently?
It's about $250,000.
What does this have to do with the contempt?
This has to do with the motion for attorney's fees. Mr. Broich, is your goal today for, if you're successful in this motion, for Ms. Broich to go to jail?
My goal is for my child to be able to live a childhood like every child should be able to. He shouldn't have to be confused as to why he can't hang out with people because of conversations that adults have. I want him to be able to, he comes to me very openly. he's confused about why he can't hang out with friends. He's confused about why he's got to be in the car all summer. He's confused when he tells his mother that he feels ignored when she spends all summer with her boyfriend.
You can't say.
Okay. I just want my child to,
If you are successful in promotion, do you want Ms. Burris to go to jail?
I don't really know what the ramifications are. I mean, I want it to be able to stop. I mean, this has gone on for 5 years, and I want it to stop.
So you would be okay with Ms. Burris going to jail after this hearing?
No, I don't want that to happen, of course.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. You can come on now.
I do have an attorney's maybe I didn't get a file before the court hearing. I can either present that to Your Honor on file stamp and get a file stamp later.
Well, Mr. Lynn can do it right now.
Okay. Should I give you all these? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have nothing further.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'd like to call Ms. Burris to the stand.
Come on up.
Ms. Burris, since you've moved to North Carolina, are you aware of Bryce having any play dates with families while he's in Brady's custody?
Yes, he does.
And how are you aware of this?
Through FaceTimes or through weekly updates, Brady and I give each other, or not, yeah. After each visitation period, we send each other an update of most of the activities, not all of what the child does. So I find out through that.
Are you specifically aware of any particular families that you know Bryce has had play dates with while in Brady's custody?
Some of them I don't know. The ones that I do, Henry's parents or another, Henry is a child who he has multiple play dates with both of us.
Before you heard about this motion, had Brady ever expressed to you that he was concerned with the amount of play dates Bryce was having while in his custody?
No.
Ms. Burris, you heard Ms. Cornet Boza's testimony earlier, correct?
Yes, I did.
And what is your relationship with Ms. Boza?
I do not know her other than meeting her that one time at the birthday party.
Okay, and you just said that the only time you've ever met her was at the birthday party, correct?
I take that back. I'm sorry, now that we're sitting and talking. I never hung out with her, but I saw her one time at another school event. But But that was the main time I saw her.
Now, without telling me exactly what Ms. Boza said to you, when you first spoke to her, what did you say afterwards, and why did you feel like you had to say that?
I was very taken back upon arriving at the birthday party. I had been there a few minutes, and within the first few minutes of me being there, this woman said to me that she was...
Your Honor, I would argue that it's not for the truth of the matter, but for the reasoning of why Ms. Burris then responded the way that she did.
Anybody would have responded the way I did if somebody said this to them.
You can say what
she said that she was so glad that I decided to be involved in my child's life again.
And what was your response after she said that?
I was very confused, and I said that to her. I said, I don't know what you've been told by Mr. Boych, but clearly you have not had the right perception of, you have not been given the story of how things are, and she proceeded to say things to me. I won't go into the detail, but she proceeded to say some things to me that were very derogatory. And so I, in the most respectful way possible, answered her. There were no children around. I made sure.
And based on what she said, you felt like you had to explain your situation with Brady to her, is that right?
I mean, someone saying to you that I'm so glad you decided to be involved in your child's life again, when I am the mother that I am, I did absolutely set the record straight that is not, clearly she has been given a mistruth of who I am as a person.
And is this the only time you've ever spoken to Ms. Boza about Brady?
Yes.
Ms. Burris, I'm looking at tab A.
Yes.
Page 3, paragraph 12.
Okay.
And you've read Mr. Burch's motion, correct?
I have.
And you see in paragraph 12, it states, on February 24th, mother willfully failed to make adequate after-school plans for her parenting time.
Correct. That's what he says.
Sure. Can you explain what happened on February 24th that led to Bryce going to the wrong after-school?
Bryce has an agenda where we write where he goes after school, and I accidentally wrote the wrong day. Instead of writing Everest after school care, I wrote bus. I did it one time by mistake in 2 years. I'm human. And upon realizing that I did it, I went and picked him up immediately and apologized.
Is it also Brady's responsibility to check this agenda?
Correct.
And you testified earlier about Bryce and his participation in the church choir, correct?
I did.
Have you ever withdrawn Bryce completely from the church choir program?
No.
I believe you testified he's currently enrolled in the church choir.
He is.
Was it just one occasion where you offered for him not to go to choir?
There were a few occasions, but these were communicated to Brady, and like I said, the whole choir thing was something that had been an on and off conversation with Brady. And even so, as of December, I even attended something that was for the choir. So, and I have taken Bryce since then, but like Brady and I talked about that it would not be all the time because there are other things that he has him doing, that I have him doing, that, basically if Bryce tells me he wants to go, that child will go. That had not been what he was telling me. I would never just not take him to not take him.
You all, we're about 4 minutes away from running out of time entirely.
Okay. Then I'm ready to reserve time for arguments if that's...
Okay.
Can I ask 2 follow-up questions for her testimony? The time that you met Ms. Cornet.
Yes.
That was approximately February, January, kindergarten year when you had just moved back from Virginia, correct?
Yes, it's been a while, but I would guess, to my knowledge, yes.
So when she said that to you, you hadn't lived in North Carolina with your son, and you almost didn't see him for about 77 days that first part of kindergarten, correct?
Not willingly. I've been a mother to my child his entire life. But due to what happened in court, there was a small increment of time. But her comment to me was, I'm so glad you decided to be part of your child's life again, as if I had decided to not be.
Okay, you can come down.
Thank you.
All right, what would you all like to say, very briefly? Officer.
Sure. Your Honor, all the testimony that we've heard today, first of all, the burden is on them beyond a reasonable doubt. None of the witnesses that testified to Ms. Burridge ever saying anything to them in front of the minor child, which is what the order states. It states that it has to be within hearing distance or in the presence, and that was never the case. Additionally, the custody order addresses transportation broadly. There's an allegation that she sent him to the wrong after-school program. She testified that that was a mistake. Certainly not a willful violation of the consent order. The final allegations of father's motion deal with custody of Bryce. There hasn't been too much testimony on that, certainly not any testimony beyond a reasonable doubt that Ms. Burridge has violated the order. Father hasn't met his high burden of reasonable doubt here. In fact, the motion, just cobbles together a bunch of random incidents from 2021 to 2023. In our eyes, we view this as a frivolous motion to waste Ms. Burridge's time, to make her spend an exorbitant amount of attorney's fees to get here, because she's scared of going to jail. I've got an attorney's fee affidavit that I would hand up if the court is so inclined, because we'd like to make a motion for attorney's fees due to having to come here to prepare and to defend this matter.
Okay.
Your Honor, it is frustrating that the only opportunity to enforce an order is to say someone needs to go to jail. Mr. Burch does not want her to go to jail, but we do need somebody to help us interpret this court order. I believe that Ms. Burch is hanging her hat on the gray part of this order that says she's not going to do any of these things in front of the child. She's not going to degrade dad or talk about the divorce. But she's doing everything in her power to talk about it at a risk of this child hearing it and to everyone in this child's life. And if it isn't a violation, that's fine, but we do ask the court to specifically inform both of these parties how important it is and why the court even puts this kind of language in there. This kid should not know about their divorce. Neither should the whole neighborhood. So even though maybe it's an opportunity for her to do that, there's a gray area in this court, she's not in violation, but we still think it's pretty risky for this child to find this stuff out. I don't think this was not frivolous. Our goal is not to put this mom in jail. We don't want to put parents in jail, but there's no other way for us to enforce this court order. So if we can have something that explains what this order is, that would be helpful. But if it is jail time, it's jail time. Again, that's not what we're asking for. The other parts about this order, I think the court was very clear at our trial that mom needed to reside here because having a child that lives partially in Virginia and partially here is not in his best interest. The court was clear that as soon as mom lives here permanently, that the child would be 50-50 with both parents. That's what we want. We don't want not 50-50. We didn't file a modification because we want Bryce to be with his mom 50% of the time. But instead of mom gallivanting all around with this child in the car for 12 hours of visitation every time he has her, he did not spend one day last summer or this summer in the home in North Carolina.
Okay.
That's what we're asking for the court to explain what the court meant by this, tell us if she's in violation, and if she isn't, explain what they should be doing going forward.
All right. My 2 cents about what you need to do is you need to get together at soccer games, at choir, speak nicely to each other in front of kids, in front of parents, act like you all respect each other as parents and don't talk about your private business at all with other people if you can help it. Unless it's a very close friend and you might want to talk about for some other reason, but not around the children and not at brief meetings. It's not fair to Bryce. However, this is a criminal contempt matter beyond a reasonable doubt. I do not find that mother violated the order beyond a reasonable doubt, and I do not find that she acted willfully. So I'm denying both requests for attorney's fees. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the Desmond Sabb versus Shanika Smith matter, are you all ready, Joe?
Your Honor, she's in the hallway. She's coming in now.
Okay, if both parties can raise your right hands, please, before you sit down.
Do each of you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth on your solemn affirmation?
Okay, we're hearing the matter of Desmond Sabb and Shanika Smith. This is 22CVD000459, and we are here on Mr. Sabb's motion for criminal contempt against Ms. Smith. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, there's just a couple of preliminary things that we wanted to address before the hearing goes forward.
Well, welcome to them, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, Your Honor, if you recall yesterday on the motion this morning, I held open a motion for sanctions. Ms. Smith, in conjunction with her denial of my client's time this summer, filed a motion for a temporary restraining order and a motion to modify the summer TPA that Your Honor put into place. That was pending until Friday, when Ms. Smith filed a voluntary dismissal and sent it to my office on Saturday. Obviously, our office had prepared for that hearing, and it had filed prior to that hearing our own motion to dismiss, motion to strike, motion for sanctions for such a frivolous filing. And Your Honor, we're asking to be heard on those sanctions. We would like Ms. Smith to be sanctioned. She has now filed a frivolous DBPO, which has been dismissed by Your Honor. She's filed a motion for a TRO and set aside of a summer TPA frivolous filing. So we want sanctions. We want attorney's fees. We have filed an attorney fee affidavit for $3,588, and we're asking that the court grant those fees.
Your Honor, I'm asking the court to hold this matter to a time that Mr. Sabb can schedule this. This is our time for hearing on a motion for contempt against Ms. Smith.
Okay, I'm going to table that for now, just so we can go forward with contempt today, but I'm not denying. The other thing I wanted to address before we began is the fact that Ms. Smith had to leave court early last time, and I wanted to know if she had, I had asked for a letter from her medical provider about that.
Your Honor, Ms. Smith did provide me the copy of this, and Mr. Sabb's attorney has a copy of this, and she's seen if I can approach, Your Honor.
And we would obviously like to be heard on this letter, Your Honor.
And once again, Your Honor, I know last time we spent some amount of time trying to locate doctors' offices, and I would just once again ask the court if we can, and I know, Your Honor, you control this courtroom, you make the decisions, but I wouldn't want her not to be able to present her evidence if we get to the point, you know, that it's approaching 5.
Your Honor, this is clearly fraudulent. It's laughable. It's not notarized. That's not even Atrium seal on top, like their actual letterhead. This is a copied, pasted, typed by Ms. Smith letter. And it is very clear that this is not from Atrium Health on Moorhead, where she alleged that she went that day.
Your Honor, I would object to Mr. Sabb's attorney acting as an expert in this area and giving her own expert or unexpert opinion as to whether this letter is forged or not.
Well, I find it very suspect. I asked for a notarized letter. I get something that looks as if it does have a photocopy mark over here in the corner. It does not have any indicia of reliability in terms of having a seal from Atrium on it, not any department. It looks as if...
Your Honor, I could take the responsibility for this. As far as when we had the hearing, the virtual hearing, it is my understanding that you asked for a letter, number 1, signed by a doctor, number 2, on letterhead. I do not recall any mention of anything being notarized, and I did not ask Ms. Smith to get anything notarized. I don't recall the mention of anything having to be notarized.
Your Honor, the court made it very clear what they were requiring. This doesn't even have the list of doctors. I mean, this is very clearly a printout by Ms. Smith.
I want to get to the contempt, and so I'm also holding this, okay? So, Ms. Houk, how would you like to begin?
Comment on it, Mr. Sabb.
Okay.
If you would state your name for the court.
Desmond Sabb,
Where do you live, Mr. Sabb?
live in Dorrington, Connecticut.
How long have you lived there?
A little over a year.
And do you work?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm an Army Reserve recruiter.
How do you know the defendant, Ms. Smith?
We have a child together who's 9 years old.
What's her name?
Daughter's name is London Sabb.
Were you present at a TPA hearing on October 20th, 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Was an order, temporary custody order entered based off of that hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
And what, if any, recollection do you have about the visitation that was given to you by Judge McPhenia?
Yes, ma'am. As I recall, the order was alternate holidays, where I would have the soonest holiday would be Thanksgiving, and I would get the New Year's following, and then spring break, and then the summer schedule that would coincide with the Father's Day weekend until the last Saturday of July.
As part of those exchanges, were there certain stipulations that you had to meet with regard to the flight schedule?
Yes, I remember Judge Bethenia said we were both under a fine microscope. It was to do the unaccompanied minor after I do 2 round-trip flights, to purchase my own ticket and to purchase our daughter London's ticket round trip. And then after the second flight, it would be the full unaccompanied minor program, in which I did an additional flight just to make sure that London was comfortable prior to the upcoming unaccompanied minor flight.
How many flights did you purchase for you to come get London before purchasing an unaccompanied minor?
3.
And did you file a motion for criminal contempt against Ms. Smith?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What transpired on June 17, 2023?
June 17, 2023 was supposed to be the Father's Day weekend. I was supposed to be getting London for the unaccompanied minor. I purchased the ticket 2 months in advance to give plenty of notice. Upon then, Ms. Smith advised that London was failing the 3rd grade, which they tried to do a mediation to rectify the situation. At first, I wasn't on board, and after a second attempt, I agreed to have her come the weekend, for Father's Day weekend, and that I would allow her to go back to do summer school, and then after summer school was complete for that week, for her to fly back out and continue the summer visitation.
And why was it so important for her to be with you on the weekend of the 17th?
I mean, for me, I think any father would want their child to be there for Father's Day. In addition, she does have a brother, a 2-month-old brother that I wanted her to see, and the rest of the family to spend time with.
And did London, in fact, despite you purchasing the ticket for her to come back to Charlotte after the weekend, did she get on the plane on June 17th?
She did not.
What transpired?
What transpired was I got an email stating that they both had arrived at the airport. I want to say it was around 9 o'clock. So I thought everything was fine to that moment. And then American Airlines called me, and I was stated that they checked in.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
I was just advised that.
Objection.
You can't say what you were advised. You can say what you did in response.
In response, I validated if London would make the flight and call Miss Smith. At first I called, there was no answer. I called back, and then immediately was prompted that the phone call was being recorded.
Objection.
I'm sorry?
Objection.
What? I didn't hear the last part.
Ms. Smith told me that the phone call was being recorded.
Okay, what's the objection?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Smith told you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I apologize. I was not hard to hear. Definitely tested. Thank you, sir.
With Ms. Smith telling me the phone call was recorded, I said, fine, I don't care. She stated that London was afraid to get on the flight and that I should have it explain the unaccompanied minor in detail, which I stated I had sent the flight information 2 months prior along with the instructions for the unaccompanied minor flight, and that was an excuse and that she needs to be on the flight. Upon then, she says, London's really upset. She's disconnecting the call back, stated that the phone call was continuing to be recorded, and has, I would say, a child of a younger age, not my daughter, crying in the background with no audible words. And I said, stop playing with me or I'm going to put you in contempt of court because you're validating your word. And to no resolution, with just arguing back and forth, the phone call ended. Asked her about, what are you going to do to rectify the situation? My wife texted her and said,
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained is what your wife said.
And after the recording, the call dropped, did you offer to fly Miss Smith with London up to Connecticut?
Yes, we sent.
And did she get on the flight?
No, she did not.
Did she send you any information with regard to a flight?
No.
And you testified a minute ago that there were recordings. Ms. Smith said, I'm recording you, I'm recording you. Were those recordings sent to my office?
Yes,
Have you listened to those recordings?
yes,
Based on those recordings, would you recognize them if you saw them?
Yes.
Or heard them? I apologize.
yes.
Your Honor, instead of approaching me, I just play the recording in this.
If it will be loud enough, yeah.
If you can't hear this, let me know and I'll come up there. Hello.
Okay, well, can you let me talk? Robin is supposed to be gone now. Robin is in the bathroom and she's very hysterical. So I was only going to
There's a break in that recording.
I'm sorry?
There's a break. I'm assuming where she stopped recording.
Your Honor, since we're not listening to anything right now and speaking with my client, she has an objection to the validity of this recording. Okay, she uses an app, and the app took away part of it. She's not a tech expert. She doesn't know how the app works. And so I don't know what parts of their conversation were recorded and what were not recorded. And I don't know if they were, I'm objecting to this recording being admitted into evidence. Unless we have an expert in here testifying how that works.
You can ask some questions about how it's made.
It picks back up right here, Your Honor.
Why would I am her parent, but you're her parent that is actually pushing her away. Okay, like I said, I tried to call you. Why are you threatening me? When I tried to tell you that her daughter is crying and sister schedule. It's okay, buddy. You're gonna find on the next slide, thank you.
And you testified that there was a second call,
Yes, ma'am.
and that was also recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
And you heard the break in that first recording. Did you alter those recordings in any way?
No, ma'am.
And is it a true and accurate reflection? What was picked up of your conversation with Ms. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you record this?
I didn't record her. She said-
Ms. Smith. This is Ms. Smith's recording. And did you hear that child crying in the background?
Yes.
Was that London?
No. To add on to that, I heard the crying in the beginning, and then as soon as the phone rang, the crying stopped.
So the call is being recorded again, and you hear your daughter in the background.
So, Linda, please. Why are we still talking right now? We had a street email.
I am telling you that she is scared, and she's not even coming out the bathroom.
Well, go in the bathroom. It's both you, same gender. Go in the bathroom and let me talk to Linda, please.
She has the door locked. She said that she's not coming because she doesn't want to get on the plane.
Once again, I'm objecting based on the same reasons as previously. Okay, yes, Your Honor.
And did you hear Ms. Smith in that recording state, do you not hear your daughter crying?
I did, yes, ma'am.
And then she later stated that she had locked herself in the bathroom and was upset.
Yes, ma'am.
So that was never London crying beside Ms. Smith?
Correct.
Once Father's Day had passed, once the June 17th had passed, did you again request that Ms. Smith coordinate London coming to Connecticut?
Yes, we conversed about the Father's Day weekend and then London failing school. And that's when I made the agreement to say she can finish summer school, and then she agreed to book a flight. No flight information was sent to me the following weekend for her to come for visitation.
And did London come to see you at all this summer?
No, I haven't seen her since.
Did you miss a full 43 days with your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there also some dance competitions this summer for London?
Yes, that's the bulk of, the majority of how this happened. There was a dance competition to Orlando and another dance competition in New Jersey.
And when the TPA transpired, did Ms. Smith testify as to London's dance requirements and competitions, and the judge still ordered you to have summer visitation?
Yes, correct.
And what was the deal surrounding, what was Ms. Smith's argument surrounding these dance competitions?
That she worked hard the whole time on this, on the competitions, and that I would be denying her and robbing her of that experience.
And did you offer a solution for the July dance competition?
At first, no, I did not. And then I stated if she wanted at her expense to fly them to the competition and then fly her to me for the rest of my visitation, then I would be on board.
And what about the first competition in July?
First competition, that was the Orlando one. That's the one that she blatantly stated was the competition that she would have to attend. She couldn't miss any.
And did you have anything planned for London this summer?
Yes, every summer we do a family vacation. We had planned to go to Niagara Falls, which was already purchased, that I ended up losing financially out on that because it was too close to the date to cancel.
And have you also suffered financial loss due to the flights that have been canceled?
Yes.
And the flights that London didn't get on?
Correct, yes.
And after Ms. Smith denied your visitation in June and then again in July, did she file documents with this court to try to enjoin you from having visitation with London?
Yes, all communication had ceased with London, and then I was served paperwork for a DBPO, an emergency order where I couldn't contact by any means of communication.
And was that DBPO later dismissed by this court?
Yes.
Do you believe that if the court doesn't find Ms. Smith in contempt for her willful violation, that she will continue to deny you time with London?
Absolutely, yes.
Is it a severe financial loss for her to not coordinate with you with these flights and this unaccompanied minor program?
Just line of questioning is attorney's fees are not appropriate in criminal contempt cases except for situations of testimonial identification orders.
There are other issues that are financial, and part of that is flying back and forth. Go ahead.
What are you asking the court for today?
I'm asking the court to, for one, to allow me to see my daughter, especially the next visitation, hopefully would be Labor Day weekend. And I'm asking that Ms. Smith expense that she does a round trip flight for London to be able to see me to make up, and just for some makeup time for all the summer vacation that I've lost. I feel like, you know, London's missing out. She hasn't met her brother yet. The rest of her family, we all had plans, and we've just missed out on so much time that I just think that I beg the court to allow me to see my daughter and just make up for the lost time that I have missed out on.
Do you believe that without some sort of punishment, incarceration, something that Ms. Smith will continue to violate this order?
Absolutely. That's the reason I filed the visitation order in the first place. There was never no coordination that she would adhere to, and I felt like coming to the court to get a visitation order would solve the problem, but as we witnessed, it's only made it worse, and she has no regard for the visitation order at all.
I don't have any further questions for this time, Your Honor.
I do. Thank you, Mr. Sabb, and thank you again for coming down from Connecticut. I appreciate your time. So can you tell me the date that this temporary parenting agreement order was entered?
I believe it was in October.
If I may approach with a copy of this order, and sir, can you tell me the date that this order was filed stamped?
Filed December.
So December of what date?
December 22nd.
December 22nd, 2022, is that correct, sir?
Yes.
And so, even though this order only went into effect in December of 2022, Ms. Smith gave you your daughter over Thanksgiving, even though there was not a valid order in place.
She
Is that
didn't,
correct?
she didn't give me, by judgment, Athena, I'm sorry, she advised the next visitation would be November.
But you're aware that Ms. Smith was not court-ordered for visitation?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Sustained.
Okay, so, Mr. Sabb, is it your testimony that you were allowed to exercise your visitation in London over Thanksgiving?
Yes,
Okay, were you allowed to exercise your visitation in London over Christmas break?
yes,
Were you allowed to exercise your visitation in London over spring break?
yes.
Okay. Did Miss Smith withhold London from you on any of the court-ordered times, Thanksgiving, Christmas break, or spring break?
Yes, to an extent. There was always stipulations of her purposely, I would say, either arriving to the airport late, that would interfere with the flight itinerary. I would say making transportation hard as far as booking
I
flights.
would object to his stating of purposefully. He's not in her mind. I asked, sir, if
Yes, she would book. We had clear instructions from the court.
Hang on one second. You can sit back down.
Yes.
And go, just answer the question directly.
Yes, I would say there's a hindrance because we were advised by the court to book 30 days out for itineraries. I would have to be at the mercy of Ms. Smith to book a flight to coincide with a round trip. I can't say it's purposely, but on every occasion, it's been right at the last minute where she books a flight that makes it difficult to initiate the visitation order.
I understand. And do you understand, as a person who books trips, that everything doesn't always work out exactly as planned?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. And now, as far as the summer visitation, did you receive any documentation from Ms. Smith from her teachers stating that London did not pass her end of school exams?
No, what I had to do was contact the school, and they gave me her report card, a copy of it, and it showed how many times my daughter has missed school and how many times she's been late, which was over 40 times of being late to school. That's how I received documentation.
Okay. Your Honor, I make a motion to strike the testimony he just gave. He did not answer my question.
I think he did answer the question, and you had asked him if he received anything from the school.
Stating the reasons that London was required to go to summer school.
And he said, no, he didn't get that, he got something else.
He got something else. Okay, if I may show you, this I have, okay, this is defendant's one. I will provide a copy to the court if I may approach the witness. Sir, have you seen a copy of this letter? And could you please read this to the court?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this.
I've never received this.
This is Tiffany Sneed. She's not going to testify, authenticate the letter, or anything. I'm going to object to its entry into evidence and or being read.
Sustained.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Where, did Ms. Smith notify you that London did not pass her end of school exams and was required to be in summer school?
Yes.
She did.
Yes.
And to your knowledge, did Ms. Smith buy London a ticket at the days, on the date that you all agreed?
A ticket for what?
A ticket to go to your house.
She never confirmed. She stated she was going to buy a ticket, but she never sent the itinerary.
Okay.
That was for the July, or June 17th?
Your Honor?
Correct.
If I may, I have a bunch of,
I bought the round trip ticket,
okay, so you purchased the ticket.
unaccompanied minor ticket, correct.
But, Okay, so, okay, June 1st. I apologize, there's so much. This will take me just a quick minute. Okay. It's April 17th. Okay. On June 16th, did you happen to have correspondence with Ms. Smith via text? No email. An email correspondence.
On what date?
On June 16th.
It's possible. I can't
Okay.
recollect it now.
And did Ms. Smith tell you on that date that London is very sad, that she'll be missing her competitions this summer, and once in a lifetime opportunity? And she's very confused as to why she's unable to compete with her friends after having worked so hard. And per your, Mr. Sabb's previous email, I purchased a flight to pick her up on Monday evening so that she can finish summer school. I've attached the record locator information to this email. I will get her flight to come back to you on Saturday, June 24th. Once, I'll send you the record locator and flight info once I purchase it. Did you receive that email?
I received that email, but not a record locator.
Okay. So according to the email that she sent to you, did Ms. Smith tell you that she planned on in fact purchasing a flight for London?
She did state she
to come
planned.
visit you?
Yes, she did state that.
Okay. And so, okay, so was this record locator, ticket number, record locator number GQXYIE that was sent to you?
I don't know. What date was that flight for?
It was booked for, well, let me ask you, do you recall that she was?
Objection, Your Honor. She's given him a flight number and he asked the date. I mean, she's not providing any context as to the record locator.
Okay, if you want to ask your question.
Your Honor, I'm not testifying. I'm asking you, you, sir, was the trip supposed to depart June 19, 2023?
I don't remember. I just remember the flight that I booked.
Okay, so you booked the flight, but you don't recall if you booked it for June 19, 2023?
I know originally it was supposed to be for the Friday of the weekend that starts Father's Day weekend. So if that's the same date, then yes, but that's the date that I'm referring to.
Okay, and so you don't believe that Ms. Smith is actually the one who booked the flight?
I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying I don't remember receiving confirmation.
Okay, so you don't remember receiving confirmation. Okay, so this whole time, since this order was entered, even before it was entered, you say that Ms. Smith allowed you to exercise your visitation rights on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on spring break, but then something happened in the summer break, correct?
Correct. Along with that, you say that she allowed me to. This wasn't without just. She's filed DSS to come to my house.
Sir, I did not ask you those questions.
Okay, and I answered
I
in
asked you
conjunction.
yes or no questions, sir.
Answer the question.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sabb, it seems that we were throwing out a bunch of different flight times, flights that was never sent to you. Did Ms. Smith ever send you a flight record locator that she had booked a flight for London to get on it and come to you in Connecticut?
No.
And you had purchased the June 17th ticket?
Unaccompanied modified, yes, Your Honor.
All right, you need to come on down.
I'm going to call Ms. McDaniel.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'd like to voir dire this witness before she's allowed to testify.
Okay.
Pardon my delay, Your Honor. I do want to take this one. And may I take my phone for regulation of dates? Okay, thank you.
And I believe Ms. Malenko wants to ask questions before we begin. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes, Ms. McDaniel, Ms. Tigress McDaniel.
Yes.
Can you tell me how you came to know this individual sitting right next to me? Do you recognize her?
Yes, I've testified before in a previous hearing before the court. She was a member. Initially, I met her at my graduation party on June 8th, 2023.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, okay.
Yes, yes.
At which time she pursued me.
I'm not sure she was starting.
Yes, I have been.
Okay.
At which time she pursued me, so the event began around 7 p.m. that evening. And again, that was my first time meeting her. She was introduced to me because I was graduating from law school and had announced at this party that I was starting a association, a membership-based group for vocational legal education because I'm a huge advocate with the community having accurate legal education, but again, in an ethical manner. She was introduced to me by my event planner, and she pursued me, she and Krista Johnston, over I would say about the next 2 hours, because my guests were saying that they were kind of usurping all of my time and wanted me to enjoy myself. But considering that they had expressed so much, especially Shamika, she expressed that she was fearful of the current custody agreement and...
That's not a question about, I'm not asking you to testify as to what Ms. Smith said. I just asked you if you would, please, ma'am. And I believe you answered my question. You met Ms. Smith at your graduation party, is that correct?
I did, but as a Juris Doctorate, I can continue to explain. And so it is relevant, but sure.
Okay, so can you tell me what legal services you performed for Ms. Smith?
So there was legal document preparation, there was consultation, and again, this was under a private membership organization.
So you prepared legal documents for Ms. Smith?
I did with,
And as a Juris Doctor, are you ethically allowed, since you said you dealt with her in an ethical manner, were you ethically allowed to prepare legal documents?
Yes, I was.
Without being a bar licensed attorney?
Yes, I was. And again, it appears that you may not be aware, again, under a private membership association. It was very clearly stated to her, and there's a membership agreement where she agrees that I cannot provide any type of legal representation. There is no fiduciary duty that is tied to this membership organization, and that it is vocational legal education, and that is it.
But yet you prepared legal documents for her?
With her. You continue to say for, with her.
And so, you didn't need your bar license to do that?
I No, I do not, for a private membership association, again.
Okay. And at one point, did Ms. Smith ask you for her documents and her whole file that you had to return to her?
No,
I never asked you for that.
Objection, Your Honor. The relevance, I feel like we're going
down. Go ahead.
At one point, did Ms. Smith ask you to return her entire file back to her?
So again, the answer is no. With regards to the line of questioning that she had asked me, it was on binders, but those binders actually belong to me. I had actually prepared copies of all of the case records, and it was in a binder. And she purported to the CMPD, and she's now subject to a malicious prosecution lawsuit from me for having told CMPD and the courts that I had a binder and was keeping that property that she purported as her own in my custody.
Doesn't every client own their own records?
These are public records again.
Public
for a
records
case.
that you prepared for her by yourself? With her?
No, I don't think you're understanding, so I'm going to answer one more time.
I'm confused.
Yeah, it's very obvious. Yes, so the case records, when you go to the case management, case files room, we made copies. She was actually with me. We made copies of the entire case file, and it was in a binder that I keep very regularly. In fact, the binder's here today, and it's labeled 87. In that binder were all of those documents. Any documents that I helped her to prepare with her had already been emailed to her. And we actually had several communications in that same regard because I reminded her, even on the day that she contacted CMPD after stalking me in my home, that I had her property, that it had actually been emailed to her on the day that we had completed the preparation for those documents. So I didn't have anything in my possession that she didn't already have or had direct public access to from the case file room.
And so after she so-called harassed you to get what she believed was her own property back, you decided to come to court and testify against her after holding yourself out as a legal service provider. Is that correct?
Is that correct? Actually, during the entire stint of our interaction, I repeatedly set the standard, and it was set very finally in the membership agreement, and it is on the record in the emails that I have forwarded to the attorney for Desert Sabb, that these are the standards for my organization. And she consistently, when I said these are the standards, I'm referring to the ethical standards of conduct for members. And she repeatedly breached those ethical standards. So it was not something that she had just found out about on the whim, and as it relates to your statements that it was alleged harassment. There's a CMPD report. She does not live where I live. She does not have permission to visit where I live. She's actually been banned from where I live because of her stalking behavior. And so it's not an allegation in this fact.
Okay, I think we're straying very far from where we need.
Okay, well, thank you, Ms. Tigers, for testifying. And I'm not sure if you mean. Your Honor, at this point, I would ask for, Ms. Tigers, I'm sorry, I'm at a loss with your last name. From testifying.
My last.
Ms. McDaniel. I would ask the court to find that she's not a legitimate witness. She's biased. They have multiple lawsuits going on between the two of them. And I've contacted the state bar ethics, and under Rule 1.6, about the duties to a former client. Privileged information is not, there's certain circumstances where an attorney can divulge privileged information under a court order, but unfortunately, Ms. McDaniel was providing legal services without a bar license, Your Honor, and I would ask that she should not be allowed to testify.
Okay, Ms. Houk, what is Ms. McDaniel being asked to testify about?
Your Honor, she has firsthand knowledge as to Ms. Smith telling her what transpired at the airport. She facilitated some of these filings and informed Ms. McDaniel about fraudulent letters, what happened at the airport, the child that was crying in the background. She informed Ms. McDaniel of all of these things. And Ms. McDaniel is not an attorney. She has no ethical obligation to the bar. She is a JD candidate. And whatever membership Ms. Smith signed with Ms. McDaniels, that is a private contract between the two of them. But she is here with firsthand knowledge about Ms. Smith's willful behavior regarding the summer visitation, and then the additional steps she took to ensure that this child, didn't go see my client, but he was deprived his entire summer with his daughter. So she should be able to testify to that, despite Ms.
I'm going to allow her to testify, but I'm going to determine what weight to give it, and I would prefer that we stick with what Ms. Smith told Ms. McDaniel.
Your Honor, would you please clarify the limitations you placed on her testimony?
I am asking her to testify about what she was told by Ms. Smith regarding this situation about London going to Connecticut.
And Your Honor, you are not allowed her to testify as to her opinions. Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ms. McDaniel, if you would state your full name.
Tigress Sydney Acute McDaniel.
And you've already testified based on Ms. Malanko's questioning as to how you know Ms. Smith.
Yes.
You heard Mr. Sabb's testimony as to the events of June 17th, 2023?
I did.
Do you have any knowledge based off what Ms. Smith told you about what transpired that day?
Yes. So
what do you know?
Ms. Smith told me that was not London crying in the background.
And did Ms. Smith also request your assistance in filing additional documents to stay Mr. Sabb's visitation?
Yes.
Did she tell you anything else with regard?
Objection. I believe the court's ruled that she could only testify as to that one interaction, which was at the airport.
No, I didn't say that. I said regarding the visit to Connecticut.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Did Ms. Smith tell you anything else during that process with regard to denying Mr. Sabb visitation?
Yes. So she told me that, and so this was leading up to that week. As I previously testified, the week leading up to June 17th.
Yes, we are short on time,
Okay.
so you could just try to keep it to what she told you
Okay.
that had to do with that visitation.
Okay, that she was going to not send London. That was what it all boiled down to. Many conversations over a week, I am not going to send London. And very often during that same process, I would respond repeatedly with question why, and don't do anything that you should not be doing.
And then once you had those conversations, did Ms. Smith then discuss with you taking out a domestic violence protective order against Ms. Smith?
Yes, that is well, and in that same regard, because there was a lot that transpired during this time, as I previously testified, she increasingly would provide me with these additional details of what she purported were these incidents that Desmond had abused her and London to motivate me to help her prepare the DBPO.
And did you later find, and did Ms. Smith admit to you that many of the documents and allegations in her pleadings were fraudulent?
She did, and this was the reason why her membership was terminated, and it was on the basis first of me, and I previously testified to this as well.
I'm objecting to this, Your Honor, about her testimony about preparing the DBPO.
Overruled. Go ahead. Okay, anything else?
Sorry, I apologize. I had a moment and I wanted to remain professional. Because again, my scope is on the ethical aspect of it. To answer your question, most specifically, increasingly during that time, again, she mentioned to me that the documents that she had prepared were forged, that she had added the logos to the letters that she was using to substantiate that London should not go. She was trying to fabricate a reason why London would have a valid reason not to go on this June 17th visitation.
And did Ms. Smith tell you that she would continue to do whatever she needed to do to ensure Mr. Sabb would not have visitation?
Yes, including the harassment attacks that she has done.
No further questions for Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Williams, anything else?
Yes. You have repeatedly stated the word ethics.
I have.
I believe 6 times.
Yes, I have. If not more.
And you believe it's ethical to provide legal advice to someone when you're not
Objection, Your Honor.
I've answered the question before, and it is,
Sustained.
Okay. You have some ill will towards Ms. Smith.
I do not. I actually have the opposite. And so this is an explanation to give you further insight on the court insight, because I wasn't able to completely expand upon it. In my previous testimony, I referred to the option, the offer that I made to her and KJ, Krista Johnson, to cure the issues that they had caused by breaching the membership agreements with the information that she told me that was not ethical. And I asked them to affirm that they were not trying to do bad things or fraudulent things or abuse the court system. And they refused repeatedly to affirm to that, and that was the cause of the termination of their membership.
Can you tell me back in 2006, were you...
Objection, Your Honor.
What?
Yeah.
Were you incarcerated for identity theft in 2006?
Very far.
Very far removed. Can you tell me why you changed your name?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
It's completely irrelevant that
Hang on. How is that relevant?
If I can't get this testimony in via asking her about her prior criminal record, she could testify as to why she changed her name because she wanted to be known.
Okay, sustained. I mean, yes, I know what you're about to say. You can answer the question.
Sure, absolutely. So my birth name is Tasha, and you know I'm a public figure, and actually ran for sure I'm a education. And I was very arrogant. My dad called me typist. I'm a patient descent. He called me typist my entire life. When my dad passed away in 2002, my mom actually went back to being a grade and and I felt disconnected. I really changed my name to reflect that everyone was calling me all my life, which is typist. And I said, because of my mother's name.
Understood? Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay. Was there a 2017 gatekeeper order against you?
Again, objection, Your Honor, as to relevance.
You can answer that question.
Sure, not a problem. That is well, with regards to the gatekeeper order, that actually was entered, then vacated, then entered, and that was driven by some attorney fraud and matters that are completely unrelated to this case, but based on the fact that I am a very good litigator and pissed off some attorneys.
Okay. And so you've targeted public bodies, lawyers, landlords, and others with whom you've done business. How many people have you sued?
An objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to
Okay, sorry.
What's relevant here?
Okay. Did you tell Ms. Smith during mediation that she should not...
Objection is anything that happened in mediation.
What mediation is this? Was she present during mediation with the parties?
Yes.
Okay, she can't talk about what happened at mediation.
Okay. At any point, did you tell Ms. Smith that, quote unquote, you can't agree to Father's Day?
What? I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you please explain?
I know the court is stressed for time, and I know all the parties are. But at any point, did you advise Ms. Smith not to agree to allow London to see their father on Father's Day?
No, I have no father issues. Remember, I just spoke about my father being hollow. I don't have that yet. I take offense to that.
Approach the witness?
Yes. You need to show that to Ms.
Does this appear that, I'm not sure how to use her phone. It appears that you need to, it looks like my phone.
So you're taking it out of context, Your Honor.
Just,
Yeah.
I don't know what the question is.
So the question is, no, so she's taking it out of context. You're talking about, there is a text feed, and she's referring to my response saying, you can't agree to Father's Day. Not me advising her, do not agree to Father's Day. And Shalika has done this very consistently. This is exactly the reason why I had to terminate her membership.
Any other questions?
No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McDaniel. You're fine.
Thank you. All right.
Ms. Moon, or I'm sorry, Ms. Hoff, anything else? Ms. Moon.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, we're not talking about civil contempt. We are talking about criminal contempt. There's a heightened standard, a heightened burden of proof. I have a copy of the judge's bench book with me. The burden does not shift to Ms. Smith unless Mr. Sabb can prove beyond a reasonable doubt, that Ms. Smith's actions were willful. And what willful means is intentionally, purposefully, without justification or excuse. So I'm saying Mr. Sabb did not provide any evidence. The only evidence that we have about willfulness is from a person who is basically practicing the unauthorized law. She said that she threw out the word ethics 6 times, and yet she was preparing documents, she was giving legal advice. She testified that my client filed an order against her after my client found out about her fraud. She's retaliating against my client. I would ask the court to give 0 weight to her testimony. She is not a credible witness. She's not a credible witness. Mr. Sabb himself testified, told this court that Ms. Smith gave him visitation per the order for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for spring break, and only after the point that it became that his daughter, their daughter, that they have in common, had to go to summer school. And as far as crying on the airplane, of course that wasn't his daughter crying. That was a baby crying. There are babies who cry on every plane and in every airport. That recording did not have to be of their daughter crying. So besides a testimony by someone who's extremely biased and someone who's committing ethical violations, okay, dabbling in a business that I would argue she should not be dabbling in without having passed the bar or being bar licensed. There's no evidence of willfulness. There's only evidence that she complied with the court's order. Thanksgiving, Christmas, spring break, and now if there was an issue, one issue, there's no evidence of willfulness, Your Honor.
Okay. At this point, I'm denying the motion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you intend to call your client?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
Please state your name for the court.
Shamika Smith.
Ms. Smith, can you speak up a little bit?
Shamika Smith.
Ms. Smith, are you aware that Judge Paige McDaniel entered a temporary custody order dated December 22nd, 2022?
Yes.
When she issued that order, did you fully intend to comply with that order?
Yes.
And can you tell me, you gave your daughter in London, you arranged, and I know it was difficult, coordinating flights, but you coordinated with Mr. Sabb for his visitation on Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Did you coordinate for London's visitation on Christmas?
Yes.
Did you coordinate for London's visitation with Mr. Sabb on spring break?
Yes.
And when summer break came around, did you coordinate with Mr. Sabb around London's summer school schedule?
Yes.
Okay. Did you intend on her going to summer school?
Yes.
You did?
You said that I intend for her to go? Yes, because she was attending summer school.
And why did she have to attend summer school?
Because her EOG scores were low and
What is an EOG score?
end of the year grade or end of grade testing.
Okay, end of grade testing, okay. Now, how were you informed that she needed end of school year testing?
By the school. I received a
By the
letter.
school?
And her teacher.
Did a teacher send you a letter?
Correct.
All right, I just had this out and thought it was more organized than I actually am right now. Just give me one moment. Okay. Okay. Now. Okay. Now I will show you what I'm attempting to introduce as defense.
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to renew my objection on this. It's from Ms. Tiffany Sneed. She's not here. She can't authenticate it.
I'm not introducing this as evidence to validate the purpose it served. I'm introducing this to show the purpose that this is what Ms. Smith believed.
I'm not allowing that to come into evidence.
Okay. Okay. So, Ms. Smith, was it your understanding that your daughter was required to attend summer school?
Yes.
And was your understanding that if your daughter did not attend summer school, she'd be held back?
Correct.
Now, did you coordinate with Mr. Sabb for different dates? So he could visit with her and she could still go to summer school. Did you coordinate with him?
Yes, we had an email correspondence in which she would attend, she would go with him for Father's Day, and then I would get her right after that weekend so she can finish up her last week.
So, your testimony that you did your very best to give him his summer time with London.
Correct. I sent an email stating that I wanted him to have Father's Day with her.
And is there any reason that you allowed him to have his visitation willingly coordinated with him for Thanksgiving, Christmas, spring break, and then why would you all of a sudden not allow him his visitation in the summer?
That wasn't intentional. She was afraid to get on the plane by herself.
So this is the first time that she went unaccompanied?
Correct. She's not used to that. Anytime we've flown, it has been me and her, or me, her, and my mom, or her and her father.
So this is the first time that she was flying with the unaccompanied minors program, correct?
Yes.
And she was not familiar with this, correct?
No, she wasn't.
So what happened when she got to the airport?
So when we got to the airport and we got up in the front where I was signing in, she asked where her father was, and
Yeah, I
can't say what she said.
Okay, well, we got there and
he wasn't there. So that is when I told her that she would be on the unaccompanied flight, and I explained to her that she would be on there and a flight attendant would watch her, and it was expressed, I don't know how to say it about, like with her, but basically she had knowledge that he would not be attending, and that it was obvious that it, made her afraid.
Based on your observations of your child,
Yeah.
is it opinion that she was extremely scared to travel without her mother or father?
Yes.
Did you plan to do this on purpose?
No way at all. If I had, then I would not have bought the ticket.
And you were the one who purchased the ticket?
I bought the ticket, which I had sent him an email stating that, basically one that you had mentioned, I stated that I did not want her to miss Father's Day, and I did purchase the ticket, and it was for, I believe, the 19th. And I had the record locator, and I sent it.
And was that the same record locator number that I mentioned earlier?
Correct, and it is on my email, and it's sent to him.
Do you believe it's important for your daughter to spend time with her father?
I do.
Are you willing to, in the future, I don't know if there's wiggle room for this, but give him some makeup days for the time that he missed? Are you willing to do that?
I am, in the event that she is accompanied there and back. That's honestly been the issue that was basically this, the safety issue.
So are you telling me that this was the fact that your daughter Lindsey could react so severely to being unaccompanied by a stranger was nothing that you couldn't have anticipated? Is that correct?
No, I mean, I had thought processes of it because she would say things like she learned at school about.
Objection as to was not.
Well,
I'm sorry, hang on. I didn't hear her say she was talking about what London said.
She said things about school.
Okay, yeah, don't say what she
okay.
said.
Well, at her school, they were teaching them about kidnappers and being aware of white and black bands, and that was something that she was aware of. So to be in an environment where there is no one that she can trust or know, and to be by herself, would make, her afraid based off of prior.
Do you think that it's possible that you could provide Lindsey with education so you can tell her that these people are legitimate and Lindsey, you do not have to be scared to get on a plane?
Yes, and I did tell her that.
Okay, so after this incident happened, then you started explaining to her that it is safe.
Yes, I
You do
said
not anticipate having these issues in the future, do you?
not if she's able to have someone ride with her. Like I said, she, I don't know how to say it anymore. But
Okay, thank you. So one last question. Did you ever plan to withhold your child from her father?
no, because I haven't done so thus far. If she had been attending all of, the visitations and I've been complying with the order thus far, what would be the reason for me to all of a sudden not do so?
Thank you, ma'am. No further questions.
Okay,
Yes. Ms. Smith, you said that you had coordinated with Mr. Sabb concerning summer school, but London, in fact, didn't go after summer school, did she?
No, she did not.
And did you ever attempt to purchase a flight for her to go to Connecticut?
No, because I think you
Did you
and
ever
I think
attempt to
you and I
coordinate
both
with
know
Mr.
that.
Sabb?
That was because that's the
Whoa,
DVP.
stop, everybody. Wait for her to finish her question.
Thank you.
Her answer, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you ever coordinate with Mr. Sabb for her to properly facilitate her summer visitation after summer school?
No, I did not, because as you and I both know, there was a DVPO order. So there was no contact between me and him or her and him.
And that DVPO order was dismissed by this court, correct?
Yes, on the 20th, right? So.
And after the DVPO was dismissed, did you facilitate any type of visitation for summer?
No, I did not.
And in fact, didn't you file your own motion for temporary restraining order, modify the summer TPA in the alternative?
Correct.
And in that pleading, did you say the court give her relief from the unreasonable and inequitably burdensome requirements of the summer TPA?
Your Honor, seeing as I dismissed this, is there, like, what would be the?
I'm sorry, you need to answer the question.
Okay, I didn't know, seeing as it's dismissed. Yeah, if that says that, because that's the one that I think Tigress prepared for me. Yeah.
And you also speak to her 2023 commitments, like her competitive travel dance team schedule.
If this is something prepared by Tigress?
Yeah, everything.
This is a pleading.
This is a pleading, she's not
in
here.
the record.
Yeah, everything that was written on there is from Tigress, but yes, I agree to it.
Is this your signature on the back?
Mm-hmm, that's what I
no
said, but I
signature?
agree to it. Did you hear me say that? Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's go off the record 1 second. I'm sorry.
It's my understanding we can't go forward, this needs to be heard on continuous anyway.
I'm sorry, say that again?
That our motion will not be heard today, and we were given 2 days, and I believe they dispute that, so we just need to be heard on the new day and then continue it. So I believe.
I'm sorry.
I offered them 2 dates, and there might be an issue with setting it on either of those dates, I guess. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So they want you to step in?
Okay, what's the issue?
Of the 2 days given, we would prefer the 9/19 day of the 30.
And we would prefer the 9/8 day, from 11 to 12. It's our motion for contempt. Commissioner hasn't seen the children since May. Our meeting is about 50 digits, so we would just have an objection to extend it out any longer. Essentially, when it's her work schedule, and she chose to move outside of Mecklenburg County, he's being prejudiced, so we would like the 9/8 day.
Okay, let's go with 9/8.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I think my client.
I'm sorry, what? Yes?
Your Honor, my kids are in school as well as me working. And September 8th, I've already had to take off this full day.
We will be able to give you a work note for school or for work, okay? But we're going to have to come back as soon as possible. And I'm sorry everything today has gone on so long.
Okay, no one has reached out to me as far as visitation, so his attorney.
I can't talk about the specifics of the case, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Houk, I'm sorry.
And Ms. Smith, when your attorney asked you if you would agree to visitation for Mr. Sabb, you said as long as she's accompanied there and back. Was that your testimony?
Yes.
But you do understand that the order from the TPA hearing says that after the first 2 flights, father will purchase an unaccompanied minor ticket to ensure London is chaperoned on all flights. So is it your testimony, you're telling the court that unless Mr. Sabb buys a ticket for himself or a ticket for you, that you are going to refuse to put her on a plane?
That is not what I said. I said as long as she's accompanied there and back.
And you understand that that's what an unaccompanied minor program does?
Actually, no, it's not, because per my understanding, when I spoke to them, they said that they don't accompany them per se. They just sit them on the plane, and every now and then they'll come and check on them. An actual chaperone that is appointed is someone that actually rides with them and makes sure that they're, accounted for. So
She's
that's
not now, correct?
Correct. Which is why her safety is very important to me, because there have been records, and I've done my research, that kids are taken, there are trafficking. And that is very important to me, and I feel like it should be important to both of us as parents for our daughter's safety.
But you do understand that putting that condition on that flight is you saying that you will not follow this order to put her on an unaccompanied minor flight.
I said as long as she is accompanied, and I don't see why that is something so far-fetched, because it's basically the same thing as the unaccompanied minor, but at the same time, it's the chaperone. It's a difference. So apparently there's a different one.
And have you attempted to have any discussions with Mr. Sabb to set up something different outside of this order with some sort of chaperone?
I have attempted to speak to him, and I've been denied everything. It has been very difficult to communicate with him in regards of trying to coordinate differences or see eye to eye.
But in fact, you didn't want Mr. Sabb to have his summer visitation because you wanted London at these dance competitions, and you made that very clear to him throughout the spring, didn't you?
I wanted her at the dance competitions, but I didn't say that I didn't want her to spend time with him, because I actually sent an email saying I do want you to be with her for Father's Day.
And did London attend these?
What was the date of the dance competitions?
I think for the one in Orlando, the 2nd through the 5th, and the other one for New Jersey, I believe the 28th.
So she was able to go to both of them?
Yes, she did end up going. And at that time, we had no contact with each other, so we were under the DBPO order.
And after that DVPO was dismissed, Mr. Sabb still didn't get his summer visitation.
You've already stated that.
But
yeah,
you can still answer my question. He still didn't get his summer visitation?
Right, because I already answered that.
And London did go to the New Jersey dance competition?
Correct. There was nothing discussed between us about that. It's not up to just me to say, you know, here we are, because we actually had a contempt hearing where I think that was supposed to be like one of your arguments, but we didn't get there. It didn't go to fruition, so here we are. And then school started. And I don't understand how there would have been any time coordinated between that anyways, because school was starting.
I don't have any further questions for her, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Wood, anything else?
Yes, I have some redirect questions for you. What date did school start?
The 10th. No, the 5th.
The 5th of August?
I have to see count. I believe it was the 5th, I believe. I have to see.
What date was?
It was the Monday on the week of the 10th, I know that.
Okay, Monday of the 10th.
The Monday on the week of the 10th, I just
What
can't.
date did the DVPO expire, to your knowledge?
I'm going to object as to form. It didn't expire, it was dismissed.
It's the same.
What day, to your knowledge, what day was the DVPO dismissed?
I believe it's July 20th, I think.
Okay, and did Mr. Sabb contact you between July 20th and the time that school started on Monday the 10th and ask you about arranging transportation for London?
Not at all.
Okay, no further questions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else?
Oh, one other question. If he did contact you, would you purchase a flight?
Well, as I stated before, I didn't have the funds to purchase the flight, so we would have had to coordinate something.
But you were willing to coordinate with him, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and are you also aware that the order itself states, it states who's responsible for paying? And is your understanding that Mr. Babb paid for Sabb, paid for tickets for Thanksgiving when he didn't have to?
For Thanksgiving?
Yes.
That one he did need to pay for it, but I think he was referring to the spring break visitation where he didn't necessarily have to ride with her, but he chose to.
Okay. All this said and done, all these questions that they're answered, did you plan on doing this?
Not at all.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
And then the only one that seemed to, seeing as they mentioned it, seemed to reach out was someone named Sherry, and I believe that's his wife. So he never specifically asked me or wrote me and said he would help with the flights.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
I'm sorry, do you have a car?
Do I have a car? Mm-hmm. Yes.
And is it reliable?
Yes.
Okay, you can come on down. All right, would you all like to be heard?
Very good.
Your Honor, number one, there was a valid order in place. Number two, it was obviously violated. Number 3 is an issue of willfulness. You know, I'll renew what I said in my motion to dismiss at the close of Mr. Sabb's evidence. It's apparent that she's a single mother trying her best. She did what she was supposed to do for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and for spring break. And now she's caught up in this confusion. She's a stranger to the legal system. This is a 2022 order. She produced evidence telling the court, I did what I was supposed to, I did my best. Willfulness, as defined in the judge's bench book, page 4, willfulness is defined as deliberate, without justification, and without excuse. So she had her daughter at the airport to admit this as evidence. She had her daughter actually at the airport. Her daughter freaked out and was scared. She didn't plan on this happening to her daughter, but as a mother, can you picture your child freaking out at the airport and sending them when they're scared to fly alone? She testified she will not let this happen again. She since explained the accompanied minor program of American Airlines to her daughter, London. This is, there's no evidence of willfulness without justification or without excuse. She saw her daughter freak out, and she said she's willing to negotiate with Mr. Sabb, and their agreement says that they could modify the terms of this agreement on their own. She's going to work with him to give him some more days to make up his time. I know they're important to him and his family. She testified that she's willing to do that to make up for this, but this was not a willful violation, Your Honor. Okay, and I'd ask the court to dismiss the criminal contempt and allow her to work with Mr. Sabb so they can work together to get her father the visitation, and she'll make sure she does that. That's what she testified under oath to this afternoon, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, Ms. Smith's not confused by the legal system or this order. She willfully and deliberately did not put London on that plane. She never had any intention of putting London on that plane. Her attorney read into evidence an email of her shaming Mr. Sabb.
That was not her attorney. That was not an attorney that was on stand.
I'm talking about you. I'm assuming you're still the lawyer. You read into evidence an email where she told Mr. Sabb that it was disgraceful that he wasn't going to allow London to do all of these competitions.
I apologize. I was confused as to who you're referring to.
She read into evidence that she wanted London to go to these competitions and that she had worked really hard. And Mr. Sabb informed her, it is unfortunate. However, if you want her to go, pay for the flight, pay for the round trip ticket for her to go to the competition. He even offered to pay for her to come back, fly back after Father's Day, be here for the Miss Summer School, be here for the EOGs. Ms. Smith took no direct steps, none whatsoever. In fact, she took further steps to deny him visitation by filing TROs and DBPOs that have now all been dismissed to do nothing but deny Mr. Sabb his time with London. And she even testified that she doesn't want the unaccompanied minor program, despite Your Honor saying, sir, do it 2 times, fly 2 times, get her comfortable. He flew 3 times. He has been deprived 43 days with his daughter. And Ms. Smith can sit up there and say, I didn't have the funds. I can't afford it. But London's doing competition dance. We all know how expensive that is. She went to both competitions in Florida and New Jersey, but she can't go to Connecticut to see Dad. Ms. Smith can't coordinate that. I find it completely disingenuous. I'm asking the court to find it disingenuous. It's clearly willful. She clearly knew what she was doing. And I'm asking that the court find her in contempt. And she's going to continue to make frivolous filings and do what she needs to do to forego my client his visitation. The court needs to make an example of this. We are asking for incarceration, and if the court is inclined to not incarcerate her, we would at least ask for 48 hours. I think that a point needs to be made. But if the court's not inclined, or if the court's inclined to do the 48, we ask that the remainder of the sentence be suspended for 1 year, and under that probation, my client get all of Christmas, spring break, because he has now missed 43 days with his daughter, vacations, financial losses, you name it, from a direct violation of Ms. Smith. So we are asking for the 30 days, and those can be suspended, a portion of them, for 1 year, and she's on probation, and so that no other visitation for Mr. Sabb in compliance with this order is missed. Your Honor, may I confirm on this?
Okay.
Your Honor, according to what I was referred to, the judge's bench book from the local government, page 13, this is dated 2015, but I don't think it's changed much. I routinely check. Page 13, a sentence for criminal contempt may be suspended with the conditions and the defendant placed on probation. Any special condition of probation must be reasonably related to the defendant's rehabilitation. And that is State v. Key. And I'd also like to mention that...
Yeah, I don't need to hear that.
You're not, okay.
I do have to find beyond a reasonable doubt, and I have some small doubt. This is only a temporary order that's in place, correct? And everything that you do, Ms. Smith, is going to whether you are a fit and proper person to have the primary physical custody of London when we come back to that trial. I have grave doubts about your veracity. I am concerned that you have filed frivolous pleadings against Mr. Sabb, I'm sorry, that you have done everything in your power to keep London in Charlotte for the summer so that she could go to dance competitions because you wanted her to do that. She's 9 years old. If she doesn't want to go to school, you sit her up straight, you say, you're going to school, it's good for you. Broccoli, get on the plane. He has flown you back and forth 3 times. You know what unaccompanied minor means. Here are some other precautions. They all have Wi-Fi on them now. So how about you have my phone, the stewardess knows, or the flight attendant, and you talk to me back and forth if anything happens. I'll send you pictures every few minutes. Whatever it takes, your job is to get her on that plane. He has missed a significant amount of time, and right now, I don't have the authority to make that up, but I will tell you that when we get to the permanent custody trial, I will consider very, very deeply whether or not you're fit to have the primary custody of her, because you are not encouraging this relationship between him, especially with those pleadings this summer. The DVPO, I'm furious about that. Right now, I don't know what else to say, but I'm telling you, get her on that plane, whatever it takes. I asked you about the car. She's not going to get on the airplane. Then you drive her all the way up to Connecticut, right there and then. But it is your job to get her on that airplane for his time. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I either approach or I can say it from here. Your Honor, my fee application for this case is going to be quite lengthy.
Okay.
And I will submit that tomorrow, but I wanted to let you know in advance that although it does seem quite lengthy, I cut my hours and every single thing listed, every single item listed the work has been performed.
Ms. Smith, what are you doing for a living right now?
Well, I'm currently doing freelance work, but...
And how much do you earn per month?
Well, I haven't earned anything yet for this month, but last month I had about maybe like $1,200 a month.
I'll consider the affidavit when it comes in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Or your fee.
Your Honor, we're just going to hold open the sanctions.
Yes.
Everything else.
Yes, I'm holding open all of those other issues.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a safe trip back.
Your Honor, I hate to interrupt, but my client's asking me to ask the court about her case that was dismissed with prejudice. It was a misunderstanding. She believes that both cases were at 11:30. I'm sorry, at 1:30 p.m. And that is the reason that she did not appear in court today.
You had conversations with her about that. You told me this morning that she was on her way to
10 a.m.
know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm not going to set that dismissal aside.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, may I ask a question?
Yes.
I want to know, well, seeing that I didn't, show today for my court hearing, is that, you said that's dismissed with prejudice?
It was dismissed with prejudice, Your Honor.
Was there a reason why mine was dismissed with prejudice, but whenever,
I can't give you any legal advice, you can talk to Ms.
No, it's not legal.
You're asking me my opinion on something, and I can't give you.
It's not an opinion.
Okay, I'm not going to talk to you about this any further. Thank you.
Can I say one thing?
No, I think we've all said enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Lynn. Thank you, guys.